So while at work today, someone brought in this letter. So while at work today, someone brought in this letter. It says, "Dear Richard, right to live and work in the UK. As part of our ongoing safeguarding checks, we are required to confirm your right to live and work in the UK. We would be very grateful if you could bring us evidence of your national insurance number, which is payslip, letter from HMRC, etc. Many thanks in advance for your cooperation, HR officer." Bonjour. Let me see. Oh, I'm fine. Thank you, Bubbles. I should put this on this side. Hold on a second. Should be able to see my chat now. Well, I'm very well, thank you. But I received this letter and it's had me brain ticking all day, and I need to talk to some people about it. I tried attempting to talk to people about it, but no one understood what I was saying. So I've sent you an invite. I'd like to talk to you. Anyone, who else is there? If you want to have a chat, just ask a question in the chat there, and I'll see if I can answer it. Also, I want to talk about this one. So I was talking about with Yorkshire lass Tracy, and there's about a minute of cartoon I want to show people, and then just briefly touching on The Infinite Plane and Terry Pratchett's Carpet People. But this is the one that's had my brain ticking all day. Yeah. I know that the image don't seem too good. I shall press play. It's on very slow. I don't know if it'll make it better or worse. But to me, this is demanding my papers. Your papers, please. I'm 36 years old. I'm 37 this year. Why now do I have to confirm my right to live and work here? Where I work, there is a minimum 40% foreign surnames, and there's nothing racist to say that. That's the fact. Mumbasi and names like this, names I cannot pronounce, names without vowels, and yet I'm asked to bring in confirmation that I've lived here for 36 years. when I tried to address this with someone, they didn't get it. And to me, this is where this hypocritical part of us all comes into things. Because you may not be the soldier that pulled the trigger and said, just doing my job. Someone else has to do a job to pay the soldier. And by continuing to work, I feel like that's me. We fund the government, don't we? We fund the government that said it was okay to go over there and invade these places. It was okay to then let their afflicted safe haven in our country. And now they want to ask me if I am allowed to live here. Something's very wrong with all this, and I can't get people to understand. A small digression this morning, again at work, she's having problems with her gas and electric bills. And we was talking about ways she could itemize it, shall we say. And she says she's been online and looked at the itemization they do for her, but she doesn't understand it. And so she said to me that she thinks she might get a smart meter, because this might help her to balance her books. Because the gas and electric company, if you know what they're like, 1 minute you're in credit, the next minute you're in debt. 1 minute they're taking money from you, and 1 minute they're giving you a little bit back. In any other business, I'd call it laundering. You know, the moving around of money, and they're using us to do that. I said to this lady when she said, "Oh, I'm going to get I'll think about getting a smart meter." I said, "Have you heard that the CIA are using all the smart technology to spy on people?" No. Hello, Phil.
Hello, Richard.
No, very little. Let me see. Where is he? Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm well.
For my part, I have some lag sometimes, and the sound is cut. I see the picture is rolling and rolling and rolling into the middle. So I don't know if it's the same for you. I don't know if you can hear me too.
I can hear you. You're breaking up just a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
People want to see me, or shall I leave that up?
Okay, now you see your screen. Trying to live and work in the UK.
So yeah, today at work I was given this, and I asked to bring in my national insurance number for the records. And I just find it very bizarre. I don't understand. When I apply for the job, all that information goes on to the job contract. You understand? I don't understand why they need it again, and in this way. Like I said, to me, it's like they're asking me to produce my papers. You know? Does that make sense? Am I just being a bit over melodramatic or something?
Very strange.
Use the sirens.
That's very strange. And why did I ask that?
No, I haven't answered it yet. I don't know what to do, right? I want to refuse to do this. You know, I don't want to lose my job. I'm torn. I don't want to work at all. I don't want to have to pay taxes to things I don't agree with, and I don't get a choice. So I just have to work, and my taxes get spent however they get spent. I get no choice in that.
That's very strange. Are they trying to change some laws, or?
I do not know. This is all I have. It's a small piece of paper. I'll put my normal camera on in a minute. I'll put it in my hand here. It's just a tiny piece. There's only a little bit missing. Is just under regards is the name of the lady who deals with this, and then the top of the paper is my place of work. So I've just left that off. But I really want to protest about it, but I know it's going to fall on deaf ears. Does that make sense? Nobody wants to listen to this stuff. People don't want to see that there's something else going on.
Poor world where we are living in.
It's a very strange world.
Yeah, very strange.
But I want to know also, tied in with this, with a lot of the things we all look at on YouTube. Is it really all a psyop just to confound a couple of 100,000 to a couple of million people at most? Or is there actual truth on the internet that the rest of the world don't know? Sometimes I'm really confused about it. Sometimes I think it's me that's been tricked, and I've just been tricked into sitting here staring at a computer for the last 15 years, and I've done nothing practical with it yet. You know? I don't know.
It's not every day to find the right words and who has right and who has it wrong, and with all those stuff that you can find on the internet. Sometimes you have your, so we said in French, you have your horse just in the middle of two seats.
Yeah.
You have to make a choice. Which is the best? Who knows? Scotland Flats. Oh, hello.
Freedom is more.
Yeah, did you saw the?
Everyone should own it. Trust me, it goes through everything regarding common law and a fictional world of legalese. Yeah, I've been looking into legalese a long time. It's one of the first things I sat here looking at on YouTube. You know, what to do about it though is another matter. You know.
I know a Swiss guy. It's an ex pop star in mostly in the reggae world. His name is Jabba. He makes some nice video in English too. You have to go on his website, on his YouTube channel. It's called Babylon Decoded.
I think I know the channel.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, I think you are. Yeah, you are a subscriber from him. I think.
Yeah,
since maybe 8 or 9 months.
Yeah. There's not many talking about this stuff I'm not subscribed to now. There's even amongst all this the legalese area. There's a lot of channels I'm subscribed to that deal with that stuff, and there's a lot of channels I follow even though I'm not subscribed to. Lark and Rose and Dean Clifford. I don't agree with everything they say, but I really like listening to these chaps. Even now, I listen to Mr. Harris, the chap who supposedly killed himself. His presentation about the birth certificates was phenomenal. It even made my lady sit up and watch 40 minutes of it. It's about an hour and a half, but she watched at least half of it, and that was astonishing to me that someone could grip her attention. I really enjoyed listening to him. John Harris, not Thomas Harris. What am I talking about?
Some cats, they make some noise with they are playing with a kind of paper. So sorry for the noise.
No, that's okay. I'm sure you can hear my traffic as well down the road.
But there is no more lag now on your video. It's image is clear. Yeah, did you see the?
Stop that for a minute. I'm going to put it back on in a minute.
Hey!
How's everybody?
We have the same here.
Not been here too long. I'm not sure how long we'll be sticking around for, but yeah, I just wanted to get a few things off my chest. Not least of which, Tracy, was the little anime I was watching. Oh, I should have just shared it up there, shouldn't I? What's it called? The Children Who Chase Lost Voices. Astonishing, just astonishing. The story behind it would appeal to everyone within the flat earth at the minute. You know, it might upset Lord Stephen Christ a little bit because it turns his concave earth inside out. But yeah, it was a very cool film, and I'll show you in a minute just a small minute and a half of it, which hopefully will make a lot of people go and watch it. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. Would you like to join, Trace? Oh, you can't, can you? Hi, Los Valdez. And Marie, hi, how are you? Oh, Phil, Las Valdez. Las Valdez. His video just a couple of days ago was brilliant. It was about bonjour. It was about
it's a cat talking.
Cat.
I'm gonna give a small meow. It's the roof one, you know. So the Garfield one.
Garfield, is that your cat?
Yeah, he loves talking and singing night and day. And
eating lasagna.
So I'm gonna give a look on the Las Valdez channel if I can.
Yeah.
If I arrive to catch the 3 small points on the right side, but it's blocked. I don't know why.
Oh, bloody YouTube in there.
No, YouTube.
Someone else rubbish.
Yeah.
Really
okay. Yes, I can access to his channel.
There's a helicopter going on.
Nope. Las Valdez.
I think it's gone now. But yeah, even if it's blocked, it was about people following the crowd. Okay, so there's people in the waiting room, and everybody but one person knows what's going on. And every time there's a little noise, everybody stands up, and then they sit back down. And one person doesn't know, but then this one person starts to copy everybody. And then when everybody's gone, this one person carries on, and all the new people that come in, they do it as well. And it's amazing that, you know, people will do something without knowing why, without looking into why, or not even asking a question. You know, excuse me, receptionist, why are we doing this? And yeah, I finally enjoyed that. And to me, that's what it's like. That's what the world's become. You know, that's what schools teach you to do, isn't it? They teach you to stand in line and follow on, do as you're told. Yeah.
Scotland's flat as well. Hello, Scotland. Did you saw the angle from our Scottish friend behind the imaginary curvature with Eric Dubé?
I watched the first hour. I haven't finished it all yet. I don't get a chance to watch them all through. I'd like to, but there's too many now. I will catch the rest of it. I've seen bits of it. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, but I was trying to read in the chat room, but too much people. The chat was going too fast. You couldn't read one question of advice or whatever. More than 100 people present during the live.
It was busy. It's nice to see. It's nice to see more people joining in. I do like that. I have to just quickly say, sorry, chat. I can't type, but I can see it. I've got it on a separate laptop. And so yeah, Tracy, thank you for watching that my book video. I sat there. I did that whole thing through once for an hour and a half, and I didn't realise I hadn't pressed start broadcast. So I had to do it all over again, and I did it all both in an hour and a half each. So yeah, that was the second take.
But for me, it's a good exercise to try to listening in English and also at the same time trying to read something and to understand both.
Yeah. I really want to try that.
Good mental, mental. How do you say that in English? Or maybe the same word in French. Masturbation.
Masturbation, sure. Yeah.
Mental masturbation.
I love braingasms. There's some books I'm really familiar with, and I know they are available in other languages, and I'd really like to at some point, read them side by side and try and pick up my language. I tried doing that French. Those little DVDs were rubbish.
Hey, and what about the French lessons? I'm still waiting. I
should just go to France for a couple of weeks.
I'm joking.
I try listening to your hangout sometimes, but I can only catch one word in 100. That's all I understand.
Okay. Now Mary is asking me if I had a birthday. Yes, you saw the two.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I didn't even see. Happy birthday.
Thank you. It was a month ago, but I'm still the same. I have still the same age, and this takes also part of some background that we need during some hangouts when we are talking about the Illuminati.
Tinfoil, not tinfoil.
No, it's just for joking. So people they can see that we are not serious people, but we can speak about serious things. Be natural. That's it. And I just finished one hangout this afternoon.
Oh, did you?
What is? Each Monday at 1 o'clock fam. 12 o'clock UK time. Each Monday until 13 and 16, sometimes 17 o'clock. It's open the discussion. Today we spoke about water. We spoke about some cannabis oil. I put some videos last night.
Yeah, I noticed one very late last night. I haven't watched it yet though. You've put some really good videos out lately, Phil. I've really enjoyed them. The tobacco one was really good.
I do that also for the people that have view problems, and they can't read the book because they have eyes problem, for example. Sure. Some people they have to put the book so close to the eyes to try to read something, and so with that kind of video, they can stay busy at something else and stay listening, and that's also for the reason why I do that.
Do you know, I've thought to myself for a while now, I don't know how I'd go about it, but I would like to read some books I have, because I do know that there are people that can't see the words, they ain't got time to sit down, but like they can just put the headphones on when they're driving or walking and things like that. And I'd like to read a lot of books. There's a lot of books I'd like to read.
And I have to apologize because the translation from French and English is made by Google. Our sentences they are built on a strange way, but sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Learn French.
10 years ago, I didn't like those robot voices, but I've sort of got used to them over time, and they'll get better as well, they'll get better, those voices.
I don't know if you know the guy, Ewa Nenki.
Say that one more time.
Ewa Nenki. It's a Canadian Indian.
Okay.
Quebec Indian. And he has a friend. He has three internet website, and the guy is completely blind.
Wow.
And all the programs he used to build his internet site is made with audio.
Wow.
That's when you want, when you will, you can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Just through those trees there, I used to work in a pub. and there used to be a regular drinker in there, and he was blind. He was an ex-fireman, and yeah, he didn't use a walking stick or anything like that, and he used to count all his money out himself, and amazing. Blind, and yet he lived his life perfectly. It's fine.
Is he completely blind?
Yes, completely blind, and yeah, he used to just go around on his own. Amazing.
I don't know if you know the book Huxley.
Aldous Huxley or the other one?
Yeah, the Bates method.
Okay.
To recover some view percentage. I will try to give a look on my website if I made the translation in English, but I'm not sure. Give me just a second, please. I don't remember. Yeah, when you make some strokes, you have some holes into your brain, and sometimes it's very annoying.
Yeah.
Yes, because I also saw like too many windows open, so it took a bit of time. If it doesn't exist in English audio version, I will try to do that this week.
Try and put it up, yeah?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Wait a minute. I just arrived on my channel.
But Tracy, you're saying whichever sense you lose, the others compensate. Someone was talking about it the other day. And he's learned to see by clicking his tongue, and he can hear his way around. It's amazing, that one. That story is incredible.
Yes, you can recover a big percentage of the view just when you're relaxing your mind and make some mental exercises. And I will also try doing that because I hate drag. I don't think that I have it in English.
What we can get there.
But if I don't have it, I will try to put that this week on my channel. Sorry, it took a bit of time because it's running.
Yeah, back echolocation.
I think we have to close some windows, so it's gonna be better and easier and faster, I hope. Okay. No, it's still the same. Okay, by the way, it's okay. I will check this. I will check this after.
There is talk about the cannabis oil having help with eye problems. I don't know if it's
cannabis oil.
I don't know if it's doctors even look at it in this country.
You use that once?
For me?
Yeah, cannabis oil. Did you use that once?
I haven't. I know someone who used the cannabis spray.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that helped him a lot. Amazing transformation. One for about a year, 18 months, he was degenerating. I think it was he had MS possibly, but he was in a wheelchair. He was starting to shake and stuff, and then he got the cannabis spray. And a year later, he put on 3 stone, and he was talking, and he wasn't walking around. And he was. I picked him up on the floor twice where he'd fallen over. He was getting so weak and stuff. But the cannabis oil, the cannabis spray, just worked wonders.
I make a very speed research this weekend over that oil, famous oil, and I found a lot to read in the Netherlands because they're very forward, and also in Quebec.
Yeah. So one for me in Netherlands is I suffer from headaches, terrible headaches, and I was looking online for help. And I found an article about doctors in Amsterdam testing psilocybin mushrooms in help with cluster headaches. I went to my doctor and said to him about it, and he didn't want to know. I was like, am I allowed to go over to Amsterdam and ask them about it? And he said, that's up to you. So yeah, I'd have to pay for it. But there is studies going into to help people with severe headaches and other problems, lots of other problems, you know, but not over here for some reason. Or if they are, they're not telling anyone.
Because they are explaining also for the people they have some skin cancer. You can use the spray, but I don't know the percentage, because I saw that the maximum is 30%.
Sure.
From THC or whatever, and the lowest is 1 or 2%. If you look the price, how much does that cost? Wow! For 10 milliliters from the 30%, it costs you roughly €400 for a small bottle.
It's all about it at the minute, isn't it? It's all about the money.
In pound sterling, it's around 250 pound sterling. That's not cheap.
You use enough to get rich. You know, one of the last times I went to my doctor, he gave me some nasal spray, and he mentioned then how expensive they were, and they was rubbish. They here and then they just stopped working. But that was the first thing he mentioned. It was how expensive it was. But I said, "Oh, shall I have something else?" And he went, "No, it's what."
Yeah, but it looks very interesting, and I will going to make some studies, serious studies on it, to give more information to the people. They don't know that stuff exists, and it's available and is authorized in many people, in many countries in Europe.
But this is the problem with all the things like the cannabis and that. You can grow it in your own garden, but they don't want you growing it in your own garden, do they? They want you buying it from the shop, and I could grow mushrooms in my garden, you know, but I have to go and buy them from the shop or the doctor, should we say, you know? Yeah. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. Very wrong.
I have no garden, so no way, impossible. I have a cellar, but it's too dark. Sorry. So nice weather is back. La primavera.
The doc won't give you suffer from, Tracy. Your headaches as well. Migraines or mine's called cluster headache.
I made a small mistake when I spoke about my friend Ewan Henke. He's not blind. One of his friends is blind.
Oh, I see. Does it help him out? Does it, I suppose?
No, because we have time all time in the chat room. We say, "Hey Phil, that's wrong what you said about Nenki."
Yeah, I see. I recognise Nenki and Bubbles.
I type his name in the chat room.
I'll have a look.
He know a lot of things. The guy he will be 66 this year, and it's a very source of information over a lot of big subjects, even the flat Earth subject.
I've just realised what you're saying there, Tracy. Sorry, Phil. So yeah,
no problem.
That's the spray, isn't it? And you're saying he won't give it to you. That's again why this doesn't make sense. I know someone who's taking it now. Spray I'm talking about, and it worked wonders for him. That's incredible. I don't understand. It's that postcode lottery. Some people it's okay for them to have it, and other people no, you're not having it. This is also wrong. Something similar. Let me type his name in as well. I shall remember him later, Phil. Hugh and Nenki. Is it a
nice bike. Yeah, the guy has one or two YouTube channel, a website, but it's in French. But the guy speaks very well English too, because he lives in America for maybe 33 years.
There's a chap, I think you might know him, David Benz. I'm subscribed to him.
Oh, Dada Benz, David Dada Benz, the Rastafari. It's a very good friend of us.
Very nice man. Very nice man. We don't speak often, but I've seen him in chat, and we've said hello to each other. And I'll just subscribe to him because I think he's a nice bloke. You know, when people are nice to me, I'll be nice to them, and whether I can understand what he's saying, I understand that he's a good bloke trying to do something. So I'll subscribe to him and show him my support that way. You know.
Oh, it's a tough guy. He has a nice project for Africa to make starts from north of the Africa. I don't know where if it's in Algeria or in Morocco, and going to Senegal. And each village where they stops, they're gonna make a small show and collecting some money and to give them for the school into the village to buy some books, some pencils, table, whatever. They're gonna try to launch that. They have a Facebook page with all the project is really good described. They make also some music, more than 10-hour music. It's
I've seen it around, yeah.
And we and I help him to make some videos from roughly 50 minutes, 1 hour to help those guys. And they want to make some CDs, and you're gonna buy the CD for maybe for €1.
Yeah,
€1, and that's all the money. All the collected money is gonna be returned to the kids. They're gonna cross from North Africa to Senegal.
I should talk to David one day. I had a dream years ago of a mass exodus of people and lorries filled with food and building materials and taking them across to Africa. Well, I'll have to talk to him about it.
I'm responding to somebody. There's just a whole friend. He's come back today in my live from this afternoon to give her the link to show her where I am for the moment, so she can understand that I can't go to talk with her, and she had to wait a bit.
You're welcome to come over.
And she doesn't speak English, I think.
Yeah. You can translate.
Oh yeah, but it's a good exercise to try to translate all the things. I have to copy. Yep. Okay, copy.
Tracy, I'd love to talk to you about this at some point. I'm not ignoring you. Subject, and rather than do it through chat, but I'd love to know a bit more about why you're not getting medication. This is very bizarre to me. Yeah, but let me just for a minute share something with you all, if I may. And just while we're talking about that Nenki and Flat Earth. So this film, Children Who Chase Lost Voices, okay? It's about Agartha, okay? So the inner but so just make sure I'm in the right place.
People living in the center of the pizza.
Kind of. It's their own take on it. And I won't spoil the story, but I'll just share this next bit for you because it's an idea. It's kind of relevant to what we're all talking about, and it's an idea of what might be happening now, right? And like I was trying to explain with Tracy, in these anime films that I watch, there are so many stories that we all talk about in the Flat Earth that have already been shared amongst the Chinese and the Japanese and the anime world, and they don't quite know. They still think it's anime. You understand? But anyway, if we just ask it to be quiet for me, Phil, so I'll just press play. No, not this bit. Skip.
I gotta look at my mic, so is it gonna be better? For
hundreds of years, kings and emperors from the surface came to steal the wealth and wisdom.
Oh, hold on. I'm not screen sharing, am I? What a plonker. Let's go back. Do apologise. All right, hold on. Okay, coming up. It's not working. Can you all still hear me, even though you can't see anything yet?
Sacamon. For hundreds of years, kings and emperors from the surface came to steal the wealth and wisdom of Agartha. The kings needed Agartha's knowledge and treasure to rule over the surface, you see. And what they brought in return were countless wars. We were more glorious than anywhere on the surface. But our cities were all but destroyed, and our birth rate dwindled. Now there are but a handful of villages that remain. And so we shut the gates with the clavises, locking them to prevent anyone from the surface from entering.
So I'll stop there. I'll play it again if people need me to. But I hope you saw the little image of Hitler and Napoleon. And all those other little wonderful things there. And just quickly, thanks Scotland's Flat for stopping by. It's very nice of you, fella, lady, whoever you are. And I like your thumbnail. What's it called? So yeah, let me see if I can find. I'd like to tell you it's buying stuff, but it's all in Japanese. I'm surprised there's an English dub over, but I don't know who it's by. I know a few of the studios that make them, but not that one. But it's a fascinating film, and I've watched a couple lately. Someone else mentioned one just recently called Patama Inverted, and again that's another.
How is it called?
This one is.
What's the name of the?
Children who chase lost voices. Now, let me see if I can do that again. Hopefully it'll come up down here on the left, right. Maybe I'll have to keep talking for it to stay on there, but yeah, absolutely fascinating film, and it's got a little bit of everything in there. Everything we talk about from Gravity and how it works, and the gods and the Nephilim and things like that, and you can put them in many of their cartoons under different names and different titles and things like that. I just find it fascinating that all these stories are already out there. They're being retold by other people who think they're just coming up with them. There's got to be a reason that all these stories keep popping up. I'll talk about it forever with people, you know. Is that even coming up? Patama Inverted was very cool. A couple of years ago, there was a film with Kirsten Dunst. It's called Upside Down. If you like Patama Inverted, you'll like Upside Down. It's a bit more of a love story, but it's still very cool. And again, you can find it on YouTube. I wonder if it tells me down here. Oh, here we go. So movie credit goes to Makoto Shinkai, if that's how it's pronounced. And just a weird coincidence, when I watched it, it was 115,833 views, and there was 33 thumbs down. But yeah, can you see that?
Yeah.
And just very quickly, this one, Mr. Terry Pratchett again. It's carpet people. There's a tiny civilization living at the bottom of a carpet. That's what we talk about when we talk about the infinite plane. Are you just saying we're a tiny little pinprick civilization on this vast plane that goes on forever and ever? I'd like to talk to people about that, because I'm not for the infinite plane. I don't believe it goes on forever and ever and ever. That doesn't make sense to me. Does that make sense to anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd recommend anyone go watch some of those anime films. You still there? Yeah, Trace, I don't know. I know the diazepam, but I don't know the other ones. Again, like, my stepdad was ill for a long time, and all the different drugs he went through from the doctors was appalling. Really, it's just. I always believed that there was something far more simple to help him. You understand, rather than chucking down all these pills. I remember before my nan passed away 12 years ago, I used to go around to her house and she had one of those little plastic boxes. She had all her pills lined up on a particular day, and it didn't make sense to me. She lived her life by this box of pills. You know, I can see my mother-in-law starting to do it now. She's got her own little pill box, and just, I don't know. Why has it become so normal for everyone? You know, well, I do understand, but why isn't it normal for me? Why am I different?
Maybe our question are not the same that they question.
And they just don't say
Another
that.
perspective. Question of perspective.
But that's what when I tried to say to someone this morning about that little note, you know, I feel I'm all alone saying that. I feel like people just think it's normal. It's okay. Just give them your number. It don't matter. And I think, what do you mean? That's how it all starts, isn't it? You know, and they can't see it. No one understands where I'm coming from. I think they think I'm a bit of a miserable old git sometimes, they're just moaning all the time. But people are just standing up, sitting down when everyone else is, and I don't want to be like that, you know.
Yeah, and you have also some people, they never ask some question to themselves. They're accepting everything that's come without thinking about that, and because for them it's normal.
I think people are too scared to question themselves. They want to be told what to do, and that's wrong. And I blame school for that. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, because sometimes the truth is scary.
Yeah, they don't want to know. I understand that.
And the truth makes pain.
Yeah.
So some people.
My lady sometimes calls me a robot. I don't believe I'm a robot, but I do believe I'm in better control of my emotions than most people I know. I don't cry at X Factor and the movies and things like that, but I know people, their heart breaks when someone's kicked off of X Factor, and you're like, what are you talking about? You know, this is not right, you know? Not right at all. Just excuse me, I'm going to get a glass of water. I'll be straight back.
So, I have the time to read a bit what's happened into the chat room. Oh, see. One of the books, it's visiting amazing Amazon for. I don't know. My parents never had a pharmacy in the house, and that's true. Yeah, big pharma is maybe 100, 1 or 2 year old. And to give one to give you also the famous fucking side effects. Now, all the time they make some new medicines. It's just pills like that. It's only fluor in it, no active, 0% active product, just hair, and you have to buy it. I'm never sick because it's not necessary. I don't have to waste my time with that.
You have to buy everything. They'll charge you for air one day.
Nice garden.
While I was on my way inside, and one more anime. For people interested in intelligence. There's a lot of anime about artificial intelligence and robots getting
Yeah.
emotions, computers just taking over the world. There's a lot of anime about all these topics, I'm fed
You
up with
know-
watching vids talking about, you know, what he sees on Back to the Future. You know, I see stuff in so many films, you know, so many programs, and everyone just keeps talking about the Back to the Future. You know, there's other stuff out there. You know, there's lots of stuff out there to talk about, and it's all connected. Right? All
It's surprising
it's
you
all
tell that now.
connected.
It's surprising that you tell that now because one of our friends, a French guy, he made an hangout yesterday night. The subject was over the robotics and the RA. All people is looking on that. Okay, you can think it what you want. Sometimes it helps when you have a problem, you have a missing leg or missing arm or whatever. For blind people as well, they make some new cameras. They connect it to you into your brain, and you can see again, or maybe you can see for the first time in your life. Okay.
There's good and bad stuff to technology. Yeah, definitely. Right. On one of my early videos, and I've said it before, I've got a young nephew. Without technology, without some medication, quite literally, he wouldn't be alive. Okay, he was born without an anal passage, so they had to build him a whole anal passage, and they did that with technology. And I think that's amazing. You know that it can be used for good. It should be used for good, but it's just being used for profit, and that's disgusting. We need to do something about it. You know.
You know that those technologies are not new because I saw a short movie maybe 10 or 15 years ago over Russian technology, and that movie was roughly 40 years old. When you see a man with one arm take 900 kilo with one arm. See, who's that possible? This is absolutely impossible. Inside
and like you say, like whole technology,
steel arm.
wrong.
Unbelievable. And okay, if it's the technology is there for helping people, to have a better life. Okay. With all the rest, everyone remembers those terrifying film Terminator.
Of course.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. And if you know that now all those computers, intelligent computers, are much more smarter than the guy they drove the program.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And look, I understand we do have to be careful with it, but all for profit is not being careful with it. You know, I don't think people are taking enough notice of it. They're not being allowed to take enough notice of it. You know, I just screen share one more story, just so I noticed before I started. This is what gets me down sometimes, right? Because this is what we have to contend with. Yeah, hopefully you'll see that on my screen. I'll press play, but and do I have to keep talking for it to sound screen?
I have a black screen now.
It did this just now, and then it came up about 15-20 seconds afterwards. It's not a moving video. I'm not saying anything. There's a young lad. He's got his own channel, and the title of his video is "Slapping My Face 100,000 times in one video," and he has 865,000 views.
Whoa!
Yeah, and posted it 2 days ago. Sit here and talk about flat Earth and bring it to people's attention. On my little video clip, I said here myself, you know, should I make it's coming up now. Should I make one saying I'm going to slap my face 100,001 in one video, you know, and see if I can get that many? But that's just crazy. How are we supposed to compete with that at the minute, you know? Where's all the grown-ups? Where is everyone looking into the as of how things are working at the moment? It doesn't seem to be anyone looking into stuff. You understand? I don't know if anyone caught QN I think it was, and his he had a short clip of the drunken peasants, and they was talking about the flat Earth, and it was just classic cognitive dissonance mockery of all the most simple ideas, like the ship going over horizons and things like that. And slap to the forehead. These guys don't know anything about. And I hope, rather than the end of the world, I hope in 15 years they look back at that and slap their own foreheads and say, "Oh, what idiots we were! You know, what douchebags for never looking into this stuff." You know. But how are we supposed to compete with that? I said the other day, the Globebusters was on Sunday, and they had 800 viewers, and on a gaming channel, the guy had 4,500 viewers. You know, there's more people watching the games than there are watching us. You understand? And I'd like to play my games and draw some people in, but I don't know if it's going to work. You know.
You know that you also some guys, they are playing all day long, all night long, 24 hours, 24 hours.
Quite literally.
Then they share the screen, and you have some millions of subscribers just looking a guy playing a stupid game. That's the world where we are living in.
This is for me. This is the battle. This is the war to come. Right? It's not going to be Terminators. It's just going to be against them people. You understand? And I hope it don't come down to clubs and swords, but I think it's going to be a case of words, man. I think we're all going to be screaming and shouting at each other for 50 years, trying to convince them.
Look once the last post of Tracy. Have you seen Idiocracy? The movie Idiocracy? Oh, amazing one. I saw maybe 5 or 6 times in a week.
I saw it a long time ago, before the flat Earth stuff, and I thought, it'll never be like that. And then, oh my God, once you start looking around and listening, you're like, oh my goodness, it's not real. It is real.
Well, this movie was crazy, but I'm not sure. If you remember, not sure?
I'm not sure.
The name of the guy.
I can't remember the name of these people. I'm not one of these people who remember that sort of stuff. I remember watching it, I remember bits from it, but I don't remember names and characters.
No, he has to tell his name and his first name, and he responds with some delay. And the machine was recording not, and then sure.
You know,
he became president, not sure at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I couldn't talk with you about these things. I had a friend once who could recite lines from The Simpsons, and I'll be like, how do you do that, man? What are you? I can't do that stuff. I remember watching it, but once I've watched it, I don't try to keep hold of it, you know? I'll keep hold of other things. Especially with films, I've seen so many now. All them anime cartoons I've watched over the years. Another one, just for your imagination, just astonishing. For myself, I like the effort, the artwork that goes into these things. The storyboards are amazing. Like the ideas that people come up with, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
And also the people, when they are watching a movie or of a series, they don't look the background. They never look at the background. And all the stuff that you have to see, it's in the background.
Yeah. That's all I watch now. I do find myself doing that these days. There's a channel, Rob Ager. He's got a couple of channels, and he does analysis of films and other things, including AI. And he used to be a politician for UKIP, and he sort of gave that up and he just does this on YouTube now. But he does some amazing analysis on films. So I really, really do like him. He done one recently on the satanic undertones. I'll tell you, satanic pedophilic undertones. And I have to say, like, I'd watched other people talk about that film before, but then listening to him this time, oh my gosh, you can now see maybe he's right. You know, there are some things in that film that are pretty disturbing, and it all happens, like you say, in the background. You know, you've got the girl in the front, but if you look about what's happening with the people around her, there's some scary stuff going on in that film. But yeah, Rob Ager, very cool channel.
Shoo. Oh, poor cat. Yeah.
Yeah, Close
Serious-
Encounters. Yeah, I've seen that so many times over the years. And you remember that thing with the giant trees, the giant mountains,
Hmm.
and that scene where he builds the mountain in his room. I mean, coincidence or what, man? There's some stories that just keep meeting together. You know, when you talk about robots and then you talk about Jaws, there's the beginning of a robot in flesh that was indistinguishable from a real shark to many people at the time. You know, what they can do now must be incredible. What they can do with the flesh. You see it. We've seen the films with the Lord of the Rings where they can move the cheeks and everything now, and their eyes can do things like that, and it's all prosthetic. None of it's real. No, that's amazing.
Yeah, when you have the reality, they go faster than the oldest of the how do you say that in English? The future. When the present is going faster than the future, the expecting future. We go faster now with all those kind of technology and but
I do wonder about that, or if it just seems that way. If you've got an iPod in your hand, it seems like you can do anything, right? But I still had the next door neighbour's child come up to me and say, not 2 months ago, you know, it was one day, and I was like, oh, you poor little sod, you know. I thought there was going to be flying cars when I was little. My dad thought they were going to be flying cars when he was little, and they're still not here. You know, well, we've got iPods. Woo, we've got an iPod. It's just an iPod at the end of the day. That was invented before the mobile, and yet we all had the mobile first.
sure.
Yeah. Ask yourself about that. Where was this for all those years? Was they testing that out on people without telling us about it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And all the new technology that we are using today is still existing since maybe 20 or 30 years now. That just arrived on the market.
The only ones they let us see a little bit of is the medical technology. Like I said, you know, the things like it'll save my nephew and even my stepdad for all them years, keeping him alive on dialysis and stuff. You know, that technology again, no, but I don't think that's really new.
It's just
No?
like
They
the
get better at it, but
RFID chips. The RFID chips.
Yeah.
You know that some medicine manufacturer are putting some RFID stuff in some pills.
yeah, I've heard of it. The tattoos and everything. Yeah, sure. I've looked
Everything.
crazy.
It's
The little nanotechnology they talk about is scary. Have you ever heard of Michael Crichton? He wrote
No.
Jurassic Park.
No. Okay.
Dinosaurs. No, he wrote the book Jurassic Park. He also wrote a book called Swarm, and it was about nanotech robots that escaped and took over the world type of thing. You know? It's very scary, but who knows, man? Who knows? Good propaganda.
Well, we know now that all the dinosaurs is most big lie.
That's what I think all them films were about, weren't they? Yeah? Put it in your imagination. Keep it there. Even down to Godzilla and the other fella. What's he? King Kong, the fight, you know?
No, whatever.
Keeping it in the mind.
Yeah, because you have to feel you so small. You have to feel you so small and insignificant.
That's what they want you to feel. Yeah, that's what they want you to feel.
in your mind.
Well, that's what I was saying the other day. That's how they want you to feel.
We are much bigger than we think.
I believe so.
That's the reality.
I believe so. Yeah. I believe also that we're capable of more than they want us to believe as well. They want us to line up and do as we're told. They don't want us way in the world, you know. And we should be allowed to make our own way in the world. I don't understand why. Well, I do, but I want to know what we do about it.
And you spoke about the people Agatha. I was expecting that you were talking about Jules Verne's.
Yeah, I've known of Jules Verne since long before, even Back to the Future and the Doc's reference to him now. You know, I watched him as a child. My granddad had books of it on the shelf. I've always been fascinated by it. The Journey to the Centre of the Earth and things like that, I just always fascinated me. And I'm one of those ones that want to go on that adventure. You know, I don't know if I could, but I'd like to.
Amazing. It was unbelievable. Oh, yeah, it was freezing. It was freezing a bit. No, I say because all those stories was amazing, unexpectable, and sometimes a bit scary too. You go, oh, it's dangerous to go down, to go down. So don't go there. It's not place for you. Maybe you're gonna cross Gog and Magog sometimes. For the people they know, those two, Gog and Magog.
But there's also the ant people, the Indians, the Native American Indians and their ant people. I've always been fascinated by that story. They're supposed to come from underground, and these stories are from everywhere, all over the world. These stories of the underground places and stuff like. I'd like to know more. Have you heard of Dolce? The Dolce base.
Yeah.
So that was the very first thing I looked for on YouTube years ago. That was a long time ago. That was what really started me. Wow, I've got to look for more things now, and I've spent the last 15 years just looking for one thing after another. And
in the I think it's in Arizona, in the Great Canyon. There you have another place. It's called Chaco Canyon.
Yeah,
amazing find to discover down under the ground. Cities and cities. Yeah, sorry, how my wife, Mrs. Dodo, was asking me something.
Yeah.
And why couldn't we believe that there are some people they are living under the ground? I wrote a lot of histories of people they are living underground, and when they comes they have a kind of technology, so crystal, and they change the appearance. It's just like they are holograms, physical holograms, because they have a body, but it's not what you see. They look like us. So this, I don't know if it's true or I don't know, but
you can watch that film. Go and watch that part.
You know,
telling you.
Yeah.
The whole story starts with a little girl and a type of transistor radio, and she listens to the voices of dead people. Crazy.
We have a new visitor.
Guten Tag.
Hi.
How are you?
Hey, your German is better than your French, my dear Richard.
Repeat, please.
So,
what did you say? What?
Guten Tag.
Guten Abend.
Guten Abend. Oh, yeah.
This is correct. It's correct.
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah.
Break up.
Yeah, this is the aperitif time. So, Skoll.
Oh, wait.
Tomorrow.
I must stay underwater, but wait there. I will show you something.
We have dark water here.
Yeah.
So, chin chin.
Yeah. Chin chin.
Cheers to everyone in the chat room.
So I was at work last week and I did the boss a favour and they got me a bottle of wine. I have to keep talking, don't I? I'll keep talking so it stays on the screen. And I have to say, it was the nicest wine I've had for a long time.
From where it comes? California. Okay.
Can you see it properly? Oh no, yeah, that's right.
I see the
Okay.
label.
But yeah. And I drank. Oh, it was so rich, so fruity. And look.
Richard. Oh God, 20 pounds.
And it's a screw top.
No.
It was still nice though.
Hey, did you saw that I think Florida of California they made cannabis wine.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of it. There's a little channel I'm subscribed to, and he does cannabis infused foods.
Yeah,
I have to try and remember what it's called. Herb.
£1,000 for a bottle. £1,000 for a bottle. it's
I'm in the
unpayable.
I need to start making it.
And the wine is green.
Oh really? Yeah.
It's really green. I try to catch the video of maybe the link and so on. I will put it in both chat rooms. Give me just a second. I have to web test.
I saw also on that little channel. They someone's made a dispensing machine for cannabis lager, cannabis beer.
Cannabis beer. Is that a Dutch one?
No, I think it's in America. I think it's in America they're doing it. But yeah, it's in one of the machines. You put your penny in, and it comes out the bottom. There's only one. There's only one of them.
Wait a minute. I can't see the screen now because I'm searching this video over the cannabis wine. So that this weekend, so it must be not too far.
Oh, mate.
Well, I meant to say, Tracy, War of the Worlds. Do you remember the BBC War of the Worlds?
The BBC. Wait, I come back to you. I didn't see what you was showing me.
Oh no, so I was just asking Tracy.
Okay, I'm sorry. I go back into my research.
Yeah, in the chat, she's asking.
Can
Come
on.
You have another screen running. No, it's right now.
Oh, come on, we're gonna do it differently.
Tracy, you might be able to find it on YouTube, but I think it was in the 70s, early 80s. There was a made for TV War of the Worlds. That got me in the brain for years as a child. I think I was about 8 when I first watched it, and really good. When I watched it again, it was a bit naff, but it was still worth watching. The robots coming over the hills and things like that. Yeah, that stuck in my mind for a long, long time. That one.
Pardon?
Come on, faster. Okay.
Just trying to find it.
So, can I share you my screen?
Sure, of course you can. Do you know how to do it?
Wait a minute. Here we are. So, screen sharing. Some lags, but it will start in. Let's see if I can refine my. Where's my mouse? Oh, here. And there we are. So look at that.
Do I need to present you to everyone? Oh no, there he is. That's fine.
Why I had the dream, but he's gone. Well, I don't know why he's gone. Okay, I go back. So we have also the title. So Canavine is wheat infused wine, meaning you can get high and drunk at the same. Who's voting that? T-Rex. So I make a copy. I'm gonna copy the link. So Control C. I stop the sharing. Sharing. How can I stop that? Oh, here. I'm gonna put the links in both chats now. That's first. And that's all friends in the chat room. So now you've got the links. It's a short video.
I'm just gonna open my chat. Oh, hold on, here we go.
Yeah, it's a few seconds long, not longer. Yeah, 50 seconds.
Put it in my room.
I know they say that it costs roughly between $120 and $400. I saw another stuff at $1,000. Where is crazy? But we have to try it once.
Definitely.
I don't really be.
That'll be the one, will it?
I don't want to die idiot, so I have to taste it. So cheers again.
Cheers to you. Do you see? There's a video online of grannies trying weed for the first time. Have you seen that one?
No, no, because I just starting interesting me at that fact about cannabis and all the other stuff. So I start my studies now. I'm a young schooler.
Sure. Have fun exploring. It's great fun.
I hope so.
Oh, I don't know what I've done there. I was reading it down. Never mind. Yeah, Tracy, it's fine if you've got to go and cook dinner soon. I'll have to. I can't stick around for too much longer. As much as I'd like to, but thank you for stopping by. It's really nice to chat with you.
And tell your husband that he offers you a nice computer with a webcam and a mic. And so you came to join us.
Always welcome.
We are joking, Tracy. Oh, maybe not. Hey, you know that's...
No, I've lost my phone.
The guy that you cross once in the street, you know, he was naked, not naked. He was comment dire, caché. Oh, come on. He was just behind, so a big white stuff from a Vapo. That's very. But I know now that in the Netherlands you can have some THC stuff with a Vapo.
For what?
And I have to try that once because I don't know how is the taste from cannabis in the belly or in the mouth, in the nose, in the head. I have no idea.
You've never smoked it?
Never. I smoke slug, so you saw. I also cigars. I have also a nice pipe because I'm also a pipe smoker. So you see.
This is a good little segue for me in some ways because I'm a little bit of a connoisseur of smoking weed. To me, weed is like any type of wine or alcohol. You can't just label it under one thing, right? It's not all 10% alcohol, is it? There are some wines which are only a couple of percent, and there are some wines which are 40%. Well, and you'd have to do a bit of research online. But some strains will, they'll knock you silly, but some will give you a very nice buzz and they'll keep you chilled. Some will bring you down, some will bring you up, and they're all different, all right? They all taste different, they'll smell different. Some burn, and they're all so different. You understand? But they've all been stuck under one label, as though alcohol was just alcohol. Wine was the spirits. It's not. They're all different, aren't they? They're all very different. Well, that's the same with cannabis, and people don't know that.
You spoke 1 hour ago. You spoke 1 hour ago about David Benz.
David Benz, sure. David Benz.
I swear in that my first gonna be with him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man.
And my second.
Put it on YouTube, and I'll sit there and join in.
My second with you. During we are cooking some cannabis stuff, cakes, whatever.
Very much so. I do like. I want to try all of it. If I find that channel, I'm going to do a little shout out video for him, because the infusion food he makes just looks delicious, absolutely delicious, and I'd love to try it. I want to go and live there just to try the food. But he's been doing it with everything, all sorts of things. Chicken and bread and soup and pasta. Make it at home yourself, and it's
every kind of preparation can be realized with that stuff.
What, Jed?
Yeah. With cannelloni, with cannabis sauce, or
But
I really no idea the side effects or the effects of the side effects when you are using that stuff. I'm so curious. I will know, and I will try.
Again, so like maybe David would be a good person to help you with it, because like if you was 18 and you'd never had a beer, you wouldn't want to go to the pub and have half a bottle of whiskey. You understand? You probably never drink again. You understand?
No, but I know one thing: you don't have to drink before you're gonna try it for the first time.
Again, everybody's different.
Preferably not, or widows.
I know people that can't mix them. I know people that can't drink and smoke. They can only do one or the other.
No. Okay, if it's cigarettes, regular cigarettes. That's the reason for that some people they can't stop drinking beer and can't stop smoking cigarettes, because when they are drinking a beer, they have to smoke one, and once it's smoked, they're thirsty. They need a beer, so it's a circle.
Hand in hand.
It isn't finished.
I've said it before. I do miss being able to sit at the bar with a pint and a cigarette. It was such a nice feeling on a Friday night to sit there with your friends and talk to people at the bar. You understand? And these things, you try and do it outside, and if it's raining and everyone's standing there with the hoods up, it's not the same anymore. In the winter,
no.
Everyone's standing there shivering. They've got their pints and they're all like that, and it's not right. I think there should be a choice. Some pubs, no smoking whatsoever. But other pubs, it should be up to the manager, the landlord, whoever wants to drink there, That's what I feel. Anyway.
No, because with forbidding the use of tobacco in the cafe pubs, they makes a lot of bad things to the commercial and also to the relationship of the people, the contacts, human contacts. Because if I can drink and smoke together, why should I go to the pub? I can do one of the two, otherwise I have to go smoke outside. Here you can smoke in a cafe or in a pub. You have to go smoke outside.
Yeah, and it's not right. They sell them in the shops, and then they say, but you can't use them. Take them home and hide somewhere. Come on, man. I don't understand. This is what we were talking about earlier. if we was the first ones to stop following in line, then maybe we can change something, you know. Maybe we should all, in protest, just go and sit in a pub and start smoking one day, you know. Just say, up yours, what are you going to do?
Okay, for example, in a restaurant, I can understand that. Okay, we smell from the food. Okay, it doesn't pass really together. But
do you not think? Though, even especially today, with today's technology, all the air conditioning and being able to partition places off, surely you can't just have the back end of the places. Have you ever been to Zurich, Switzerland airport? They've got a smoking room. The whole room is just like one big fag, one big cigarette, and you just got to breathe in and walk back out. It's horrendous, but they got no air conditioning. There's nothing to draw it away. You can do that.
In the old terminal, you have the bar room. It's a square one.
Yeah.
It's a square. And they are the biggest smokers of the world out there, attaching to the bar. And running to keep the next flight.
Me and my friend went in there, and there was like a trough of just fag butts, and it was literally, we couldn't breathe. We'd been smoking all weekend anyway, and being in that room, we was there about 2 puffs, and we was out. It was too strong. Like I say, it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that.
And how many people they go to the toilet to smoke one? If you take a flight from Frankfurt to Bangkok, for example, toilet is busy all way long, and when you enter it, it smells. It smells.
There are little things like, I don't miss the smelly buses. I don't miss getting on an aeroplane where people are chugging away on cigarettes. I don't miss that at all. But they're confined spaces. They're slightly different. Like I say, with a pub and a restaurant, you can open windows and you can get air conditioning and things like this. I don't understand why it's a blanket ban. You understand? Just everybody do as you're told. Don't make your own choices. No, do as you're told. You know. And it's wrong.
And now when we go there to these places, you have to prepare your mind before. It's a conditioning of your mind. Okay, I'm gonna stay there for maybe 3 or 4 hours, and I can't smoke. It's forbidden. Okay, I'm ready now. We can go.
I'm just gonna say,
once it's here, it's okay. But first that enters, it's a long way.
Still, I have no video for you on my screen. I'm talking to a blank screen.
Sure.
Yeah, have you done something? I can see you on this one.
Yep. I cut my cam and I put it again. Otherwise, maybe I have to refresh my page.
Well, I can see your little thumbnail thing now. Yeah, that's better.
If I move,
Jamie and Jed and Marie, did you enjoy Amsterdam? We was going to go to the Anne Frank house, but it was so busy and we were so stoned that we didn't. But we was
Jerry, I get skeptic media. You can't see me, I think.
No, it's still just your logo.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make a refresh. I'll be back in 10
That's
seconds.
cool. It's working on the main screen, but just not on there. Jed and Jamie, I'd like to invite you in, but I don't know how long I'm going to be here. You're welcome to come in for 20 minutes, half hour, if you want to. And Jed, that was an amazing hangout last night, man. Have you spoken to John Le Bon today? Yeah, I was trying to say, Maria, I could see him on the main screen, but not on this one. Hopefully he'll come back and join in again. Okay, speak, sir. I should call you sir, I don't like the word.
Mary said that she could see me.
Yeah, that's what I said. So I've got 2 laptops. I could see you on that one, but I couldn't see you on there. So I wasn't sure when you were speaking and not speaking up. I was waiting to jump in.
Heb je haar net?
No.
No, you want to ask her.
Yeah, so every intention every time of going to her flat, yeah. that was the only thing we wanted to do. We planned to go to a cathedral as well, but we both said to ourselves, we'll go there, we'll do something cultural while we're there. We won't just get stoned. And it was just too busy, man, so we just got stoned. And that hangout, Jed, just quickly, as he taking it down, I was 30 minutes away from the end. I just got to John Le Bon saying, "Oh, I think the design store is fucking rubbish," and then it cut off. And I was like, damn, where's the rest of it? I want to see the rest of it.
That's every joke.
Phil, are you aware of John Le Bon?
I hear him once.
Yeah, he had a very funny hangout last night. It was really good, actually. It was a really good hangout.
And I think I'm subscribed to his channel.
Yeah, I always have been. I'll be honest with you. There's not actually many people in this flat Earth thing that I'm not subscribed to, and there's only a couple that I've unsubbed from. Not many. There is a couple, but they don't.
I have no problem with Globers because sometimes I've been invitated in by the American, and they are really Globers. And when they saw me in the chat room, "Hey Phil, you're there. Hey, step in, come jump in." And they say, "Who's that guy, Bubbles?" It's a flat eater, but it's a cool guy. So they let me come in and I jump in and I come and I speak with those people with any problem. But sometimes we don't have to speak about the edge. To all the other stuff. For me, it's done. It's into my mind since many years now. It's definitely flat, and that's it. How big it is, nobody knows. There is some amazing Italian video coming out now, where they speaks about the ice from celestial ice. And where they catch those ice in Antarctica wall, and the ice is freezing at 100 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. You can't touch it. You can't touch it with your hands, with your skin. If you do that, you'll burn. Short videos, so maybe 9 minutes long. Still very interesting. I try to translate one in French in the next days.
I've lost your video again.
I beg pardon?
I've lost your video again. I'm watching you on delay.
Someone is joking. Is playing with our bits.
It could be. My sons are home now. They're taking up the broadband, the bandwidth. So I'll have to come off soon. But yeah, it could be that. It could be that. Just like, hey, has anybody heard BT are now doing a new type of broadband? It's like double down or something crap like that. Now I want to know how you can double down on unlimited. If I've got unlimited broadband, how can I double down on unlimited? Is there such a thing as double unlimited? Does that make sense to anyone? I'll try and find the advert for it. It's on the way to work and back, but BT are offering a new faster broadband, and they're calling it something like that. It don't make sense to me.
No, that's not a good one. Try to clean a bit. No, it's not better. I have to rechange again. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, so you keep coming up on my other thing. Or under his hat. No, what's it? Is it not Infinity? I'm sure it's sort of double on it somewhere, and I was just thinking, how can you double down on what I've already got? It's unlimited. That doesn't make sense. I think they're just conning people all the time. Do you know, I was my lady, she keeps moaning about the wires from all the computers everywhere, and yet this is something we were speaking about earlier. Old technology, they've got that technology to not have wires. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see why?
Money. What it is, it's all about the money.
That's my working place. So I have my laptop here, and I connected another screen, just text, and you see all the wires that I have there.
Hold on, I'm on delay. Oh yeah.
Just between a laptop and another screen.
We've got 3 TVs, about 5 consoles, a big PC.
I have no hassle box. I have no TV. Sorry.
No, we've still got the TVs. The boys play the computers on. They've got the giant ones like that. Yeah, we don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV for a long time. Watch the occasional program, but no, we don't watch it. I'm always on. I've been on the internet for years now. I'm watching everything, find my information, my news, and everything. Absolutely everything. And I think in some ways they want people on here, don't they? Yeah, they want you to do everything online now. Jed, you're crazy, man. The last thing I bought my lady like that was the Hoover as well. Yeah, they do like their little gadgets. Handheld Dyson, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, normally with the technology that we have today, everything will be all with Bluetooth but you need all the time all those wires running. I have a printer. Normally, I can use it with Bluetooth. It never works with Bluetooth.
I wouldn't know how to use it.
Wires.
The Bluetooth. Yeah. Look, I barely know how to use that. I only just know how to use that for YouTube. I'm not a technology person. I gave up years ago. I got fed up with learning how to plug it all in. You know, there was too many of them. And the new consoles they're not the same as they used to be. They take all day to load a game and little things like that. It seems to be going backwards, you know, almost as though they want to keep you distracted even longer each day, you know. But sometimes I can't keep away from it. Sometimes I need that distraction, you know. Some people have got football and drinking or going running all the time. I used to like reading, but I can't read like I used to. I've tried saying it before. I can't read the words the same. They don't ring true with me anymore. Does that make sense? I read it now and I see, like, you know, the propaganda we all talk about and trying to keep people within one particular area, you know. And I can't read it like I used to. No, not even the fiction books. I used to really enjoy reading my fiction, but I can't get on with the fiction anymore at all. It's up to you, Jed. I will send you an invite, but yeah, I'm not here for too long at all, mate. I want to say hello. I'd like to say hello to you, mate. I know what you like, though. You're not allowed to start talking for hours. Keep it going. Get me told off by my lady. Have you ever spoken to Jed, Bill?
No.
They might say he's a controversial chap, I suppose. It's right. It's just got his own opinions, isn't it?
No, I never speaks with him. First time that I see him in your hangout chat room.
I think he popped in when we was there all day. I think he popped in briefly to say hello, but that might have been afterwards. I'm not sure. But yeah, he comes and goes from my channel. I really like Jed. I like what he has to say. But
no Rory today.
no, I did send him an invite, but he must be busy or something. and I can never find Joe.
That's strange because normally if you pass with the channel of the private hangout, if you call him, maybe. I saw that he put some small videos last weekend.
Yeah, let's put some very nice videos up.
Yeah.
I don't like the shout outs for myself, but that's just because it's me in it. But yeah, I do appreciate what he's done, and I like doing that. I don't do it enough. I did a few when I first started my channel, and I'll do a few more for some particular people that and
Yeah.
maybe other people will too.
I have to tell you the truth again. When I'm listening and watching you in your videos, it took me maybe 2 or 3 times to really understand what's your meaning. It's a very hard word for me.
I'll be honest with you. I appreciate you watching it that many times, but I kind of make them do be watched that many times, especially when I put the music on or I'll put some pictures in. People they're listening and moving on, and they're forgetting what they was been told. Do you understand?
And they don't show the picture. So you have to stay in front, watching, listening, and not simple hearing. No, listening is much better.
There's people here, but they don't listen. You know, it goes in, and like I say, it heard it, and when you hear them hear it again, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that, but I told you it before." And then you're like, "Oh, did you?" I did. Don't listen, and I that's what I tried to do with my little videos sometimes. Hi, Jed.
We have a new visitor. I get Jed.
Yeah, Jed, isn't it?
How you doing, guys?
Jed.
How you doing,
Hello.
Jed?
I'm fine, man. I'm just in from college, and I just turned the TV on and I seen you, man. So I just thought I'd join you. What did you think of the hangout last night with JLB?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I was sitting there. When I'm watching the Hangouts, I have to pause it quite a lot. So I was getting further behind. And like I said, I was half hour from the end and it cut off. And I was like, no way. I was really enjoying it. It was a really, really good night.
It was good. It was good to hear JLB so relaxed instead of his usual professional, formal self. It was good to hear him. He was more relaxed with everyone.
It was nice to hear you all disagreeing, but it not disrupting into a big ruckus, you understand? And people didn't end up telling each other to bug off and swearing. It was really nice just to see you all sitting there talking. Like I say, John Le Bon was excellent, man, excellent form. The way he just chilled out. I even like the way he sort of went into John Le Bon mode right at the end there. You know, you do this and I'll tell you to do that. It was good. It's him. That's him, isn't it? You know, he tries not to pretend it's not him, but that's him, man. And I think it's brilliant.
I think he put Tim Osman on the spot, and Tim just left. I think. I think he was getting that cheeky way with Tim, and Tim just thought, "I'm not going to sit here arguing with him," and he just left there. But JLB was in one of those moods, and I like that. I like that about JLB. He's sort of cheeky side, his cheeky chappy side. So who's your other guest, Richard? Can you introduce me?
Yeah, this is Phil. His channel's Bubbles B62. You might have seen him around. He's been in chat quite often, in especially some of the bigger channels.
Cool.
Yeah.
Bubbles.
Very nice man. Say hello, Phil. Phil, this is Jed.
How you doing, Phil? How you doing? Are you a
Nice
flat
to meet
earther?
you. Come on.
Are you a flat earther?
What do you think?
Well, if you're here, you probably are. Well, I'm here and I'm not.
That's my answer.
What about you, French? What are you thinking about this whole everything that's going on right now, Richard?
I'm a Belgian guy. Well, I love to talk with French people.
Did you hear that, Jed? So Phil's actually from Belgium, but he likes,
right.
he does do a lot of hangouts with French people.
My nice breezes.
He sounds like Vinny from Poncho Chan a wee bit. Do you not think?
I don't listen to I know. It's different.
It's a Dutch guy. He's living in Rotterdam. You know, it's a Dutch guy. He's living in Rotterdam. Pancho. I don't remember his nickname.
The Belgium speak they speak French and Dutch. It's like split, sort of in the middle there.
No, in Belgium, when I speak French, I have no Belgian accent, no specific accent. So when I'm in France, they never can tell me which region I come in France, because I can take all of those different accents. It's for me a joke. It's just to how do you say that? Kidding the people. I'm kidding the people with that. So they never know from where I come. If I speak with American, I'm gonna take the American accent, more flat. Speaking like the way Richard is speaking, I can't. I apologize. I try to make some imitation from our friend from Scotland, because he's too funny. Oh, it's amazing! It's amazing.
Richard's got a really good speaking voice. He's got one of those really clear. He sounds he sounds quite educated as well, Richard. The way he speaks, and I agree with Martin. I don't know why Richard hasn't got more subs. I don't know why he doesn't get more views on his videos. And it was a good point he made. Like, people can put babbling on about something, and they get more views than him talking about flat Earth. Like, what the hell's going on?
Richard is an amazing philosopher.
Oh yeah, I do like philosophy. I have done for a long time.
You are a philosopher, an amazing.
Yeah, I was told a lot of years ago that I should have gone to like university to study it, but I've never liked that structure of it, of having to learn someone else's particular brand of philosophy. I like taking pieces and making it my own. You understand? I've always been like that. I've always liked doing that. But Jed, just quickly to clarify, Phil's a man of languages. I think he speaks at least 14. And for myself, I like the fact that this brings this community, whatever the resulting end of it, it brings us everyone closer together, you know. And I tell you how much
that's something I've not got against the flat Earth. I think it's cool how so many different people have came together, but when you see the charlatanism going on and you see the snake oil tactics and things like that, that's what bothers me, Richard, man.
Yeah, I do understand, but for myself, I'm not one of them ones that are going to waste my time calling people out. If I don't speak about people, there's a reason for it. If I speak about people, and I won't talk about, like you say, these charlatans, right? They don't interest me. I watch their stuff and then I moved on. If people want to stay with that, that's up to them. I can't. It's like you say, you can't take the Ulster water and make it drink, mate. I can just show you that I do it my way, and I get to move on. You're going to be standing here trying to get that Ulster drink for hours, you know, pulling on them reins to get it. It's not going to happen. And that's, like you say, it's what people are doing. They're just.
But just like you were saying, Richard, your message, when you create videos and you try to get a message out there, it's overwhelmed with all this other rubbish out there, that if there were people like me out there calling it out, there maybe be less of the rubbish to overwhelm your videos.
I do understand that. But did you catch earlier, just as I come home, I turn on the YouTube and a little homepage pops up, and there's one video. It's got 865,000 views 2 days ago. It's a young 12, 14-year-old slapped his face 100,000 times in one video. And he's got almost 1 million views, and you're like, so for me, calling out a couple of 100 people views in the flat Earth, it's not going to change anything. I think we need to reach out to a bigger audience. For myself, maybe it's through gaming. I love watching your gaming. Right, I don't play the games you play, but I watch you to try and increase your audience, and then maybe it will pick up other people from outside coming in and having a look. And what are they all talking about? I want to talk about what they're talking about. You know, I'm fed up with talking about Mario. That's what I hope to do. But
well, you seem quite an approachable guy, Richard. Have you ever thought about approaching people in the street about it, or have you already done these kind of things and not tell anybody? Because I think you're the kind of guy that probably would say something to somebody in the street.
I have done a video. It's on my channel, and it is talking to a chap on the street. And I was just doing my normal thing, walking around with my camera, talking to myself. And he said to me, "Oh, what's this? New David Bailey?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to be the David Bailey of Flat Earth." And I kept on walking. I stood on the top of a bridge, and then 10 minutes later, he come walking up to me, and he was, "All right, so come on then, tell me about this Flat Earth thing then." And I stood there and spoke to him for about an hour and a half. I recorded about half hour of it, 40 minutes, and I ain't got a problem with talking to people. My problem is what I was saying earlier about people taking it home. I don't think people take it home. They're quite willing to stand there and talk to you about it, but I think they go home, they go to work, they make dinner, and they forget about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, the way what I was thinking, Richard, was like if you approach people in the street to talk about flat Earth, you're picking and choosing who you want to tell. But if you stand there with a sign, a picket sign saying, "I'm a flat earther, ask me questions," well, the only people that are going to come up to you are the people that are genuinely interested, not people that are just walking past that get caught on their way to their work or something like that. Again, if people stand there with signs saying, "We think the Earth's flat, ask us questions and we'll tell you," I think that's a better approach because people will be curious and they'll come over, and it's not like the aggressive salesman that's trying to push a certain ideology.
Because I can't stand any of that stuff. I said it last time on the hangout. You know, I don't like being approached in the street for anything from God to Sky to people doing me a better deal on anything.
I hate it as well, man.
Get away and leave me alone. And I said the only time I stopped, and it was because she was a pretty girl, and then she stood me there for 20 minutes. You know, so what did I stop for? You know, conned because of the pretty blue eyes. You know, I shouldn't have done it. But yeah.
But if she was standing there with something like a sign that you were genuinely interested in, you'd stop anyway. You would stop to speak to them. You're not forcing them. And that's where I don't really agree with Dell's approach, like to get it on the streets.
No, that's right. That's kind of what I've been trying to say. Is to me, it's not how I would do it. And like you say, I'd like to do some sort of public forum, same place, say every Tuesday or every Saturday. And like you say, I'd stand there and I'd just talk. I'd stand on my soapbox and I'd.
Well, there's places like that in Edinburgh, Richard. There's lots of places in Edinburgh. There's actually a pedestal you can stand on, and people surround you. You can just stand there shouting, and you don't get arrested or anything like that. There's proper corners for people to speak their opinion. If you didn't want to listen, you just walk away.
I said it before again. Like my sister was working there, and next time she's working there on the Edinburgh Festival, I'm very tempted to go up there with her and do that, and just go and stand there. I'm
try to do that in France. They're gonna catch you if you do that in France or in Belgium.
I don't think they'd let me do it.
You can't do that. Because I have another tactic. Another tactic. When you are in the waiting room as a patient, because you need a big patient to be patient before you come in front of the doctor. Once you arrive in front of the doctor, you don't be a patient anymore. You are a customer. So in the patient room, in the waiting room, in hospital or by the doctor, sometimes I say, "Oh, it appears that the Earth must be flat." I say, "What?" And then they start to ask you some questions. "Oh, where did you hear that?" I say, "I don't hear it. I read a lot." I tried a couple of times doing something similar on the bus and speaking really loudly. I don't mind doing things like that either, I'm quite happy sitting on a train and just I'll pretend I'm on the phone and I'll say, "Oh, so you've been looking into that flat Earth stuff." Things like that don't bother me, but I won't sit there and record myself doing it. You understand? But stand up and do it in Orpington's a different thing. Right? Hometown, there's not too many people here, and it's not that I know everyone or anything like that at all, but people would start to recognise me a lot quicker if I started standing up in my soapbox out there. Did you saw that Rory is in the chat room?
See Rory in the chat room. Hello, Rory. I did send you an invite. I don't know if you got it. I won't be here not here for too much longer, but as long as I am here, you're always welcome.
So, Richard,
send you
what do you think of Eric's first appearance on a hangout?
Like I said to Phil, I haven't watched all of it yet. I've only got about an hour in. But I have to be honest and say, it's not that I don't like Eric Dubay, but I'm not a big fan. I've listened to most of his stuff, but I find him a bit repetitive, a bit monotonous, and he's not for me. I don't think he's right, but then I won't say he's a shill or anything like that. I don't know. I don't really care if he is or he's not. I've listened to the information he's got to give out, and I might go and listen to the rest of Dell's hangout and more natural pops through, but if that's just him, that's just him. For a while.
I heard a lot of people saying it was just underwhelming. That was the main word I heard. It was just underwhelming. Because I've watched I watched Dell's shows as well, just to listen in, just to be nosy. And he's had previous shows that have been much better, like much more exciting, better conversation. And I just thought the environment, it was, everyone was nervous, laughing, and there was. I just thought it felt awkward. It just seemed awkward.
It did look a bit awkward, the bit I got up to, I have to say. Yeah, it was a lot more relaxed before, like, Eric got there. But even then, you could still see them. Dell was jittering around with the controls and trying to get Eric in and things. I think they should have done that beforehand and just been there with him to start. Yeah, all that, like you say, that nervous should have happened beforehand. Yeah,
but the live camera tells a lot, man. The live camera tells a lot. It's like a game of poker. It's like when you're playing online against these avatars on poker, you can't tell if they're bluffing, you can't tell. But if you play a real game of poker and you're sitting at the table and you're looking at the guy across the table, well, you can when he's playing a bluff or that. And it was good to see Eric in that position where he's not on his videos or sunglasses. Or sunglasses. Well, it gives you a bit of integrity showing yourself on the camera. And he done that. But to me, it just brought him down a few levels. Like he was like a demigod before in the Flat Earth, and by making that appearance on that hangout, he just went right down to everyone's level. And
the normal bloke, then, is it? No, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I know Dell's got a lot of subs from Eric, from Eric's promotion of him. Again, I'm one of these people that question why he picked Dell. It's not that I disagree with what Dell's doing, but I don't think what Dell's doing is the most important thing at the moment. I think in many ways, the discussions like that was going on last night and these now, I think these are a bit more important. People still are to quite speak their mind still and things like that. And I think people are still sitting on their laurels. Is that how you say it? People are still sitting on Eric's magic videos that convinced so many, you understand?
Or Mark Sargent or any of these ones.
Mark Sargent, yeah. I mean, again, I watched Mark Sargent's videos once, but I don't watch his interviews. I can't listen to that man for too long for some reason. He's it's not for me. I did enjoy listening to Patricia Steers' show. It was all the guests that she had on that did it for me. I love listening to all the different people, but she seems to have stopped doing it. I don't know why.
It brings us to the question, is this whole Flat Earth movement organic, or is it started, is there something behind it? And this is, and if I think there's something behind it, I think there's maybe lies then. So that's what makes me think that it's just a lot of shit, this whole movement on Flat Earth.
If you watch my very first video, all right, one of the first things I'll say is I think we're being played, and I have felt so since the very beginning, or since all this started. Now, I don't think that the whole lie thing is quite what people think, but I do think this is a whole big distraction, knowing that it's an endless pathway that you can discuss for forever. And while we're all sitting there doing this, they're constructing buildings and doing their wars, if that's actually what they're doing. They're out there getting themselves even richer, whoever they are. You can put whichever name to them you want. There are lots of corrupt people out there gaining from our distraction.
You're right.
Yeah,
right. You're totally right. Because I was looking at proper conspiracies before Flat Earth, and suddenly I've been taken down this rabbit hole that I can't get out, Richard. I can't get out of it. I don't know what it is. It's like a drug, or I must have been MK Ultra. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is.
If you could hear the video I recorded this morning, I'm talking exactly the same thing. All right, and my idea is MK Ultra and the moon landing and explosions, World War II and explosions, Hiroshima and explosions, 9/11 and explosions, trauma-based mind control on the TV. People have never experienced that stuff in the whole supposed history of man, and yet this last century, in 50 years, they squished in all that explosive material into our brains. You understand? It must have done something to us. I'm convinced of it.
Definitely. You're right. It's trauma-based. It's trauma-based media. It's because when you're in that state, you can't rationalize things. When I seen 9/11 on the TV, I was sitting stunned for probably 3 days, like staring at the TV.
Yeah,
everyone was watching like that. Everyone.
Yeah.
before the
And
first,
the
before
purpose,
the
that was the purpose, to when people realise how much we've stolen, boom, explode it. You understand? And I think that's what's happened. I think that is what's happening now. I hate to see it happen again, whether 9/11 was real, whether people died or not. I'd hate to see it again, but I do think to this, and over the years we feel we've become inured to it, and we don't see it anymore. It's happening on a daily basis. This explosive MK Ultra mind control. It's everywhere you look. You know, when the Big Bang is part of it, I think. You understand? For myself, there is a better explanation than the Big Bang. For myself, it's just the words Big Bang. Put an image in your mind. I can show you the book on the front cover. There's a picture of what in your mind's eye is a Big Bang. But you open the book, and inside the cover it says, "This is not really what we think of as the Big Bang. This is just an artist represent." But who opens the book and looks at that? How many people just see the words Big Bang and the explosion on the front cover? And to me, that's all part of it. I know you've got a problem, Jed, with magic words and stuff, but to me, it is a kind of magic. You can convince people to do the craziest things with just a couple of words. You understand? Whole part of my hangout today was this little slip of paper. You know, my national insurance number. You know, produce your papers, please, and I will do it probably. You know, what's my alternative to come home and not work anymore and be one of the bums again? You know, it's a catch-22 situation, and they know they've got us. They know we're close to realizing what's going on, and I think that's what the flat Earth was about, like 9/11, to keep us all distracted from everything else that's happening.
Well,
and we've all been, like you say, we've all
see the Pizzagate thing. The Pizzagate thing. I think this whole Pizzagate thing is to keep going on, keep talking about paedophilia all the time, to the point it doesn't matter if it's real or not. What's happening? It's the fact that they're putting that word in your mind every day, and it's desensitizing you. It's making you desensitized to the word. So when you hear that word after 100 times, you're not as shocked. And and I feel like they're doing it with, like you said, trauma-based mind control in the media. It's like you see so much violence. After a while, you see something, you just turn it off. You don't care.
Yeah, and you don't. How many times on, say, like the comedy channel of all the channels, they have an advert where there's children starving in Africa, or they need some water and things, and they've got flies on their face, and nobody takes any notice. If anything, people pause it so they can fast forward past those adverts, because they're just, like you say, they don't care anymore, and that's wrong. Like you say, we should talk about these things, but they shouldn't be used as a trend, right? And I've been saying this about a lot of subjects, and to me, that's all Pizzagate became, a big trend for people a bandwagon for everyone to jump on, and things. Then you getting lots of subs, or you getting the recognition of talking about it. You know, if this is real and children are being hurt, then damn it, we should do something about it, not sit here doing whatever they're doing. I think finally they've arranged a march in America. Whether anything will come of it, I don't know. I think it's on the 27th of this month. Have you heard about it?
No, I've not heard about it. But I'll just go back to what you were saying about the kids in Africa with the flies on the face and things like that. And before, I was feel sorry for those kids, and I was emotionally affect me. But then when you get the conspiracies and you hear that UNICEF is taking 90% of the money, and you hear about all these charities, even the Comic Relief, and they're investing in arms companies and things like that. When you start seeing these charities on the TV, you just turn it off. You do just pause it and then fast forward, and because you think the companies behind these adverts are just trying to mind control you as well. It's like, but you know they're starving kids, and there should something should be done, but they're making you. It's like, because you know what they're up to.
For myself, any normal person would say, well, let's, instead of making this advert, let's just go and build a couple of wells for people instead. And yet there's a reason for to put the advert on. The adverts then have got to be there for another reason, and that reason is, like I say, it's to desensitize people to this thing. And they have desensitized people to this. If you try and talk to people in the street about it, people don't want to know. People don't want to know about this stuff. They'll listen politely. They might even sign your little petition, but they'll go home and back to work tomorrow.
Do you think this whole depopulation and or the world's got too many people in it, and do you think they kind of justify people dying in Africa with, well, there's too many people in the world anyway, so somebody's got to, like,
I think
That sort of
for
thing.
myself that population thing is multi-pronged, and they've conned everyone into not having children. They are allowing children to die all over the world of simple diseases, even like malaria and crap like that. You know, why do little things like that take so long to sort out? And that's all just because they don't. I think if they allowed us to heal ourselves with all the cannabis oils and things like that, I think you'd see a population growth like you wouldn't believe. But I think for the last 100 years, they've kept us down with all these distractions and get careers and all sorts of other things. You understand? And the wars, just allowing them all to die of starvation and things like that. You know, there's no need for all this rounding people up and putting them in camps. There's I don't think there's enough of us. When I look at the numbers on YouTube, I think, really, why is there not millions of people on here? Are they really all still just watching TV? Or
would you say that to think that everybody would be fed and housed and clothed in the world is a bit of a idealistic kind of look at the world, like a naive way to look at it?
Yes and no, but then there are people who don't want to be fed and clothed and housed, and you'll never be able to force them to. There are always people that will want to live outside of it, but we should aim for an ideal of housing as many as we can, rather than at the moment it's all about. I really think it's all about profit. It's not about giving people homes. It's about making money, and that's from the councils to the big mansions that people buy. It's all about the money.
Well, I travel up and down my country from top to bottom, and it's fields, it's farmers' fields, it's Lord, whoever has got so many acres. And I'm driving through Scotland from the bottom to the top, and I'm thinking, overpopulation, where about? There's so much land, there's so much.
Once upon a time, we was quite spread out, but they've pushed us all into the big towns and cities, and it feels like there's a lot of people. That's all it is for me.
It feels like that.
And it's just because they've put us all into these more enclosed, where we used to, like say, spread out, and that's all part of it. Just you realising that there ain't actually as many of us as there is. Look, maybe there's a lesson to be learned from it. Maybe if we'd got carried away with all the new technology, we'd have blown up the population, we'd have fed everyone and housed everyone, and we'd have brought it crashing down on us because we'd have been doing so well. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned from this. You understand?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe there's a balance to it. Maybe for all the progress we have to, like, there's going to be people that are going to suffer because of our progress. Like Western civilization, the only way we're going to keep going further and further and further with technology and stuff is to the suffering of the third world. I think if we balanced it off, Western world wouldn't probably progress as fast, but it would be a fairer world in general.
For myself, there's a deeper question to what you're asking there, and I think Western technology has been retarded to allow the rest of the world to catch up a bit. I imagine what the British Empire would have done if it had all that technology and never shared it with anyone. You understand? If people over in India had never got iPods and iPhones like they now do, if people in Africa and China had never got iPods and iPhones, the rest of the world would think they was gods. You understand? They would be walking around in aeroplanes with their little machines that they could talk to people, and that people wouldn't even have to word for. Someone's had to slow that down to allow the rest of the world to get a little bit of it. I think, like we've said before, there's loads more technology they don't tell us about. I think there's a reason for that. For myself, I hope it's a good reason, but I can't swear to it.
And what kind of technology do you think this could be? Like, do you think that maybe petroleum is maybe not, like, we don't need it?
Everything from not say free energy, but easier way to access energy with just little devices.
Like water, like generating electricity from water.
Yeah, I think, well, if you think about it now, we all get our energy from one of two sources, you know, coal and gas, right? But I think you should be getting it from the wind, the sun, the rain. When you live, I've got a river that runs through the Cray. Why haven't we got our own little generating station? Just getting a couple of thousand watts off of that stream, you understand? I think there is technology for it, but they just won't let anybody have it. Yeah, someone's either being greedy, or it's just a case of at some point it'll all get flooded onto the internet, and the whole world will just steampunk off for a couple of years, and the big companies will be able to do nothing about it.
But if the big tech companies, the big technology companies release their latest technology to the world, what would they be able to release next year? And next year, it's like they're only going to let dribs and drabs out to keep the money coming in. They're going to just let a wee bit out, get all the money they can from that piece, and they're probably 2 stages ahead, but they don't want to release it right away because they'll not make any money in the future. If they let it all out at once, then what could they do?
That's where I think the problem's coming in, because there are those, a lot of them, in the elite-ish place, and they're all about the profit. They're all about the making of the money. And there are some people who are more out about it, and they want to share this stuff. And it is a kind of war between the good and the bad guys at the top of the tree, as you know, but no more bad, worse than the war between the flat earthers and the globe earthers. It's just a bunch of bickering and stuff like that. I think, you know, they do it in a big leather-clad chair with their whiskies and things like that, and we do it at home on this thing, right? Maybe they do it via hologram and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe that's the technology they got that we ain't yet got. You know? But I don't think it's much worse. I don't see the horror story that everybody else does, right? I don't see the end of the world coming. I don't see us all getting rounded up and put into FEMA camps. The horror story is already here. We're all robots just doing as we're fucking told, and no one can understand. Who do you know that has ever said no to the system and got along just fine? You understand? There is no one.
Sorry, guys.
And maybe the people that tried ain't here anymore. Yes, sorry, Phil.
I'm sorry, guys. Here it's dinner time, so I have to leave. And I'm gonna wish you a good hangout hand, if they have one.
It was nice to have you, Phil. I'm sorry to leave you out there for a minute.
Soon, bye.
See you
soon. Thanks to be there.
Bye, Phil. You should invite him on one day. He's
Bonjour à madame. Et bonjour à madame.
Au revoir.
Hello to you, lady.
All right.
I will.
Okay. Bye, brother.
See you later. And what were you saying there, Richard, about inviting him on?
Yeah, he's such a nice chap. I think he's very knowledgeable, but he's struggling to get out in English what it is he knows, right? And some of the things he comes out with when he says he sees the Holy Grail, I think his English is frightening people off. They're thinking of something else. I want to know what he's talking about. He says he has a near-death experience where he saw the Holy Grail, but I haven't yet quite got the whole story out of him. But yeah,
it depends what is the Holy Grail to him.
That's what I want to ask him. You understand?
Is it Jesus? Is it a cup? Is it what is it?
I wish I knew. Do you know? I have.
Sorry, mate.
That's all right. I'm just going to quickly my Grail theory that the Templars found. It was nothing more, say, or less than a compass and a piece of paper with some drawings on it that allowed them to then build new temples and new houses. Technology are derived from this little compass. For me, that was someone's Holy Grail. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you think about how they built the pyramids and stuff like that. They didn't just do that with a ruler and a pencil. You understand?
Exactly. But they say with the Da Vinci Code and that the Holy Grail could be that Jesus actually had a family, and there was a lineage, a royal lineage, and it goes. It's still here. It's meant to be maybe in Britain. Maybe there's a descendant of Jesus in Britain, and that's a romantic. That's a sort of romanticized. I like what you say that it could be just a technology, like they had the stonemasons that they knew the technologies. I think the Templars could have even created Islam to a certain degree, because when you look at the timescales of Islam and the Crusades, and you're like, right, what did the people believe in this area before Islam? And they were kind of like pagans, kind of Syrians, and you're like,
there is a chap out there who does run a theory along these lines. I'll have to look into it, and I'll make a little video at some point about it. But yeah, he has looked into the Islam story extensively. American fan, it's amazing.
Because there's a lot of connections with Baphomet and Muhammad and stuff like that. You're like, oh my god.
And you know, I've said people don't listen. People don't want to listen because it's still a bit too airy fairy. But I find all those symbols, all those images within the simple flower of life geometric pattern, and it's at the bottom for me of all religions, of all maths, everything you can think of, and you need a compass to draw it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's the holy grail they try and hide from everyone, but stick in your face. Kind
I've done it myself, Richard. I've done the Flowery Life, and then I've done what was it? The Tetratron's Cube. Where you join up you join those dots up, and you get every shape inside it. It's like turning 2D into 3D. The Flowery Life's the 2D representation.
You'll find the cube in there and everything. And for me, that's it's at the bottom of all of it. I think it's almost the worldwide religion to come, because you can get so much out of it. You can. There are secrets in geometry. Like you just said there with the tetrahedron, this funny shape that just appears out of nowhere and looks like it's there, it's amazing. Like I said, I've spent so many hours sitting there looking at those circles, drawing and coloring them in, and it's almost like a meditation, and it does allow your brain to think about all sorts of things. And listening to people like you and John LeBon and all these guys that do the hours long hangouts, that's what I'll do while I'm listening. I'll sit there and do my drawings, and I'll tell you, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's good that we can still speak about these things within a flat Earth context. We don't have to stick to flat Earth. I don't think we've even mentioned flat Earth since we've been on, to be honest with you.
No. And to me, again, that's the distraction, is to just sit here talking flat Earth without realizing there's always other stuff that's actually involved and happening on the Earth, whether it's flat, concave, whatever you want to talk about. All this stuff's happening here, and we should be doing something about it.
Exactly.
Going back quickly to the Jesus story, when I read the book when it first came out, and my mother-in-law read the book, and we had a small discussion with it about it afterwards, and I said to her, "Isn't it a great idea?" And she went, "Yeah, but Jesus is too well documented, isn't it? And there's no way it could be true." And my mouth just like I didn't know what to say to her. I wanted to go, "Yeah, but have you not?" And you looked, and of course she hasn't. She just thinks that's what it is, There's no way it could be possibly true. Whereas I'm like, well, you don't know. If there was a Jesus, it don't make sense that he didn't have children and he weren't married. None of that. It doesn't make sense, No,
it doesn't make sense, man. And like I said, I'm not a religious person, but I see a lot of value in the Bible, man. I think there's a lot of... I think people take the Bible too literally. I like to try and figure out what it could have meant. There could be
Do you know the Bible has become there are grains of truth in it, but someone's almost for profit tried to put their family genealogy into it to make it legitimate. You understand? And it might not be fully realized who that family is yet, but to me that's what's happened. And people yet, but I've read a few chapters in the Bible, particularly in the first Genesis part, and I can see my geometric pattern circles in there talking to me. And I know it sounds a bit wishy-washy, but when I've sat there and drawn these circles for so long, I see those words meaning different things. Right? When God spoke and when the waters parted, I don't see waters. I don't hear a man speak. I now see something else happening. You understand? But those words still have an allegorical meaning. You understand? And like you say, there are too many people that are Bible literalists, and that's not going to help you, mate. That's not going to help us, because if you take it literal, it's gobbledygook.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean enough. It doesn't help with anything. You understand? It helps with very little if you read it straight up and take it as it is. It's not right.
Yep. That's why I like the Bible for that. And there is stories. And I think the world wars today, the creation of Israel, the Middle Eastern wars, the First World War, the Balfour Treaty, all this is connected to the Bible. It is. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that.
And do you think that's organic, or do you think that has been contrived as well? Do you think that's just something that happened, or do you think that's something a tune that was tried to play too?
Oh, it's contrived, man. There's no doubt. There's puppet masters. We don't know who they are. I'm not going to just say the Jews. That's another psyop. Another psyop on its own.
We don't know.
And this is what I don't know. I can't take Eric seriously. That Eric debate, he's went so hard against the Jew that I thought, this must be. He's no right.
It's all white people. It's just all white people. I don't care. It's just all white. Or it's just all Christians. I don't care where you live. It's just all Christians. No, you can't say that.
Who created Israel? Who created Israel? It was the Western powers. It was America and Britain that created Israel.
Why is that still so hard for people to understand and talk about? It only seems to be a few people on YouTube that even know about this. You know, it's crazy.
I know.
Right?
But it's
But,
massive topics.
But saying that, the chap I spoke to about this, do you know, he actually knew a lot. He knew that NASA was a bit iffy. He knew about the Freemasons and stuff like that. And I came home thinking to myself, how does he know so much? And yet nothing's happening. And this guy's just an average Joe. He probably drinks too much and smokes too much. He don't work too much. But he knows all this stuff. Everybody knows all this small stuff. And yet nobody's doing anything about it yet. You know, I know I haven't put too many proposals on the table about what we should do about it. But
well, Richard, do you actually think, right, if it came out tomorrow that 9/11 was an inside job and it was this, what do you think would happen? What do you think the public would do? I think they'd go back to their microwave dinners and watch Family Guy.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they would. Then there'd be a few people on the internet like us who'd go looking for videos of people saying, "Oh well,"
but that would be it. There would be nothing done. I think that they've created these 9/11 conspiracies. YouTube, everyone talking about it, desensitized us. So when it does come out as it was a conspiracy, everyone's like, well, we kind of knew, we heard it a few times. Yeah. So there's no action behind it. There's no like shock, like what?
So I think there's some JFK information is due to come out within, say, our lifetimes. And like you say, by the time we get there, we're like, well, we knew that all
exactly
30 years ago, you know?
And what's going to happen?
What's the point of it all?
Aye, exactly. What's going to happen?
I think to do something, we have to be a little bit more proactive. Like you say, the going out there on the streets, yes and no, not the bullying into people, but then maybe that is for some people. Maybe some people do like being approached that way, but that's not for me. But we do have to find other ways of getting out there and talking about this. This is one way, but this is a private hangout. Although I'm public and I'm available to anyone, there's not people just walking past. Do you understand? I wish there was a sort of YouTube highway where all the live hangouts were and you could just have a look through and listen for a minute, you know. I don't think they'll do that while there are hangouts like this going on. While they can make money off of the little kid slapping his face 100,000 times and playing zombies for 4 hours straight, you know, that's they'll keep promoting them and they'll just ignore us.
That's why I love with the numbers there. You see that we've got 1,000 people watching Flat Earth. On another channel, there's a giraffe giving birth and there's 15,000 people watching. It's like, you really think you're that important? Or there's a Minecraft video.
And it's not changed. If anything, people's views have dropped down in the last 18 months. You know, the Globebusters for a little while was almost on 4,000 per episode, and then it's just.
Did you listen to Globebusters last night?
No, I didn't catch the Globebusters last night.
Oh man, they were getting really, really esoteric, should we say? Really out there sort of opinions.
Do you know, I really like all that sort of stuff, but then I've never made the secret that I like to discuss that stuff.
I've been in the Austin Road, and I've loved it. Like, I've loved studying all this stuff, the spirit sciences as well. I used to love these spirit science videos. Kind of like the wee alien guy and all that. Then you start thinking, is he a psyop?
He still makes the videos occasionally. I don't watch him so much, but yeah, he still puts a couple out of the small ones. But yeah, I watched all the movie versions of the spirit science.
I've been through all that as well, man, and it's a good road to go through. But you take wee bits. You take wee bits. I think there is wee truths there. You take wee bits that you like, and there's still things I learned from spirit science that I still kind of believe, like the flowery life and kind of Fibonacci sequence. It is in everything. It's in flowers. It's in faces.
I'm going to seem like I'm going to digress, but it will come back to it. Now, do you remember when you was a child and adults ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Now, do you not think that is that singular path that they want to set you on, rather than realizing that actually there are, dozens of different things you could do throughout your life? They want to set you on a path of just looking at one thing, right? And it's that subliminal messaging again, What sort of things would you like to do when you grow up? It's never that. It's what do you want to be? You understand? Singular, just one thing. What do you want to be for the rest of your life? And I think people are still in that mentality, even when they come on YouTube. They find the zombie channel they like and they stick with it. They watch it every day. They find that the wildlife channels where there's animals giving birth every day and they stick with that. And they don't branch out yet. I don't know how we encourage people to branch out.
Can you remember being asked when you were a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I remember just feeling being put on the spot. Like, I just had to say anything like a fireman, or I didn't even think about it. It was like, you didn't really think about it.
No, until someone asks you it, you don't think about it. You just live life, and you are, and then everyone's like, "What do you want to be?" And you're like, "Well, what do you mean? What do I want to be? I'm me, and I want to be me." But you have to have a label. You have to have a course. You have to have a direction.
A drive.
Yeah. And like I say, if I'd have known about spirit science when I was at school, you know, my life would be well different now, because I'd have looked into all this stuff 25 years ago rather than 15 years ago, you know, and maybe I'd be doing something completely different by now, you know. But I honestly feel they've wanted us distracted. That was the goal, and it's worked. It's still working to this day. I think that's what 9/11 was all about, just to take your mind off what's actually going on, as usual for them, and we're all sitting there going,
exactly, because they had the war, right, all these wars right after 9/11. So whilst instead of people complaining about how many Iraqis are dying or Afghans dying, they'll just create a big conspiracy about the actual act, the terrorist act, and talk about it for 15 years, have anniversaries, and just go on and on and on instead of actually solving it. I watched a documentary either yesterday or the day before, The Truth About Saddam Hussein. And yet last week there was a report out that actually twice as many people might have died, civilians might have died in the Iraq war than have been actually reported. And I think, well, which one's more important? Where this Truth About Saddam Hussein has already got a couple of thousand views, whereas the doubling of the number of civilians died has only got like 200 views at most. And I think this is where it's all wrong, you know. The truth about Saddam Hussein does not matter. It's not going to change anything. That's the distraction. People have actually died. Let's hold someone to accountability for all this crap, you know. And I've said this before. I think you give too much credit to the individual, Richard. I've said this to Tim as well. I remember when I heard the story about these Indian manufacturing, these clothing factories, and one burnt down, and there was like 1,000 Indians killed in it. And there was a big debate on mainstream TV about whether we get cheaper clothes for like cheap labor, or do we pay more for our clothes to get better conditions in India? And they done a survey and asked people, and most people just want their cheap clothes.
Yeah, I understand.
And I think people like me and you, we think that everybody thinks like us and everybody should care. But really, we're giving too much credit to the people out there that most people don't give a shit, Richard. That's the thing.
It's something that plays in my mind a lot. I do know what you're saying. I know that people don't think like me. I hate to say it. I know I don't think like most people, but I don't know how to change. It comes out wrong. It's them word things. I don't want to change people's minds, but I do want people to realise that there are other things going on. You understand? And people are not interested in the other things. Like Phil said, maybe people are scared. I don't know, but to me, that's the idea. Keep them scared, keep them distracted, and we'll have it all. And they're getting it. They're getting it. You know. I wish I had the answer. That's why I'm here. You know. I think that's why a lot of us are here, because there is stuff going on. Flat Earth made me stand up and speak out, but it's not the be all and end all. I will not stand here for 10 years on my soapbox just going flat Earth, flat Earth, flat Earth. There are so many other things that I want to talk about. There are so many other things that I think are more important, quite frankly. Right? Dying, to me, that's more important than there might be more land. That's just me, all right? I know that's not what everyone, you know, people want to go and explore. Well, fine. But I want to stop the children starving. I want to build them a well if I can. You know, maybe one day I will go exploring when other people are building wells instead. At the moment, no one.
Or even just change the way our food's processed and the way our diet. Just the diet of people like today is ridiculous. Just what we eat and how food's processed. Like I know vegan. I didn't agree with veganism, but I can see a lot of justification for it when you see the way meat's been processed, and it makes, like, the way you see meat nowadays, it puts you off. You want to be a vegetarian.
I went through a period every couple of years. I go through a little period. I'll watch a documentary about that sort of stuff again, and it will completely put me off meat for a couple of months. But then I will come back to it. I'm not one of these who think we shouldn't eat meat. I'm one of these who thinks we shouldn't eat meat every day. You understand? There are people who eat it 3 times a day, and this is where it's. getting a bit extreme. I don't, you know, if you went out and tried to catch that much meat yourself, you would not be able to. You understand?
Well, that's why you get overweight people,
People won't do it.
Because our ancestors were hunter-gatherers. They were running all day, probably tracking a big stag, and at the end of the day, it would collapse. They would eat it, and then in the morning, it would start again. They'd have to maybe go for the hunt again, like, and they would spend all day hunting it. And we don't do that. Everything's just instant.
I think it's all little things like that. I don't think it's the future, but I do think that there are a certain amount of people that should be able to keep animals like chickens and small sheep and grow their own food. But it's not so much that there's no opportunity, but there's no encouragement to do so. There's almost no education on doing these things. You know, it's no, there's McDonald's, there's Tesco's. That's all you need to know. You know, don't worry about the books telling you about yourself or anything like that.
It's the population again. They say it's overpopulated, so we need to get used to a world where you're living in pods, getting eating everything out of pods. They're putting this in your mind that everything's just pre-made, prefab. Again, like that's the future for like city dwellers. It's like,
and it's almost become normal now. That's what scares me, is that you try and talk to people about it. I tried speaking to people a little while ago about the conditions cows go through just to produce milk, and the comment was, well, they don't actually feel anything, do they? I was like, what, with their udders bleeding and, you know, all this pus coming out, what, that don't, how can you just say that, you know?
How can you tell what an animal feels going through something like that? Do you know what I mean? It's just stupid.
But again, to people at home, they don't consider these things, you know? They don't consider these things. Don't even stop to think about it. They go to the shop, they see the meat in the packet, lovely jubbly, that one looks nice and red to me, I'm off home. I've tried it for years to talk to people about all sorts of small things. Even years ago, I used to talk to people about space, and people just not interested, mate. People just not interested, you know. Even politics. There's only a certain amount of people that are interested in politics, you know.
I wasn't really interested in politics until the last Scottish referendum, and I got myself heavily into politics, looking at the Conservatives, the Labours, the Lib Dems, all the leaders. I got myself right into it, and after the referendum went pear-shaped, it's kind of put me off. It's kind of put the whole country off. I don't think Scotland would vote a second time for independence just because of the Brexit and everything else. And people are just exhausted now. It's like, oh, no more. Okay, we'll just stick together.
For my mind, that was the purpose. That was the purpose, to break people's will when in regards to politics. They didn't want you to be involved for a little while, right? This is you could almost say it's the finishing move of the game they're playing, where they're wrapping up as much of the wealth as they can. Maybe that's it. You know, the end, like a financial crash, you know, comparable to the 1920s or whatever it was, you know, where everything just went wrong, mate. I mean, everyone talks about 2008 crash, but I think it could have been a lot worse.
I never felt it. I never felt it, Richard. I never felt anything like before 2008. It just felt everyone's talking about crashes and things like that. I'm still paying the same for my bread, and everything just seems the same.
I know somebody went out of business during the crash, and he blamed it on the crash. But I'm telling you, if that man was still alive, I'd say it to his face. That was you. You was just a poor businessman. With the crash, and I think a lot of people blamed it on the crash, but I don't know if you can. No.
Well, I think a lot of rich people are affected by the crash, people that owned properties and things like that. But when the common man that's not got a bolt to his name, it didn't affect us. It just went over our heads.
It was the top tier of the middle class. It was to knock them out, and now they've been brought down to the middle-ish class, and then it's everyone below that, and everyone's below that. There's that big gap between the ones who have got the very most and then everybody else.
They destroyed the middle class. You're right.
But if you talk to people about this, again, if people own their own home, they don't want to know, and people that don't own their own home, they don't know what to do about it. They barely know what to say about it, you know. And you know, and you know, I've said it before. As much as a lot of people don't like talking about politics, I think a lot of it was to keep us, people like me and you, out of politics, because we might have spoken up about a lot of this stuff. You understand? And instead, we all went looking for UFOs and all this other crap. You understand?
Well, I even filmed my vote. I even went undercover and filmed me voting for independence, which you weren't allowed to do. But this is how heavily involved I was. I was like, this is me proudly doing my vote. And see, nowadays, I'm not voting for anybody, man. It's not worth it. Well, to me, it feels like my vote's not worth anything. So what's the point?
Do you know, when I was about 18 and I was just going to vote, I said to my mum, who do you vote for? And she said, Lib Dem. I said, have you always voted them? She said, yeah. I said, have they ever won? She said, no. I said, no, I ain't going to bother then. What? My mum voted her whole life for the Lib Dems every time. She may even still do so. And yet, for what? For what purpose? They made very, very little impact on anything in the end, didn't they?
Well, see, us in Scotland, growing up, it was always Labour. Everybody was Labour. Nobody really liked the SNP, the Scottish National Party, because they were socialists. There was that socialist feel about the SNP. So most people grew up voting Labour, and nobody liked the Tories because of Maggie Thatcher and the coal mines and the tax. There's a lot of things happening in Scotland with Maggie. So no one voted Tories. No one really voted SNP. Lib Dems were that sort of in the background party. So everybody voted Labour. But after the SNP, the Labour Party got destroyed in Scotland after that referendum. They got destroyed. So now in Scotland, there's practically one party. How is that a democracy? SNP. Nobody votes Labour now because they're so weak, and they didn't want independence. And like people in Scotland just totally rejected Labour because they were so weak. And then the Tories, same again. They've got the history. Lib Dems never had a say, and Greens were in the background. So there's only one party now, and it's SNP. And it's, to me, it's like a nationalist, socialist.
Yeah. That's how it all begins, though, isn't it? And people will like say, I try and point this out to people all the time. You think you're voting for something, but you're not. You're being tricked into letting something stay in power. And to me, it's just letting the corporations. And to me, when I talk to people, I say you're just letting Sainsbury's stay there, and the greengrocers is gone because of you're allowing Sainsbury's here. Yeah, you're picking the big companies over the greengrocers, and
well, that's where you come to that catch-22, because they argue about these big Asdas and all that taking over all the little companies. But it's because people go to Asda. If people just stopped going to Asda and just kept going to the little companies, it's because the big companies are offering more stuff. But
again, do you know the only answer you can put on it then is the advertising on TV? So much watching of the adverts: buy one get one free. Next advert: buy one get one free. You know, it's forced people subliminally, whether you noticed it or not. It's in your face. Go there instead of the little guy, because the little guy never had an advert, did he? You understand? Whereas the big companies, bang, straight up. Every single advert, the big companies are up there. Every single one of them.
It's kind of the same in like my city, but like we've got stair cleaners, like a van that comes and cleans the stair, and it's called ISS, and it's a sister company of G4S. So instead of John McLean or Jim McLean and Son cleaning your stair and getting an all right wage, the councils are hiring these multinational companies to come in and clean your stair, and they do a shit job at that, and they take the money directly out your rent, and you have to pay them. They don't even do it. They don't even do it right. And
I'm not sure if it's G4S, but are you aware of who Winston Churchill's grandchildren are the CEOs of?
No.
G4S.
Are they?
I think it's G4S. Don't hold me to that, but there is a big company out there like G4S that is CEO'd by the grandchildren of Winston Churchill. Well, funny that, hey?
G4S is actually funded by the taxpayer.
Yeah, that's the point. You know, how did that man's grandchild get to run it and get a big pay packet on it when it's paid for by us? The whole thing is corrupt from top to bottom.
Yep.
And you can't get people to see it. And every time people do say something like we said before, and another 10 years goes by where there's people like us just shouting at the walls, you know?
Well, it's almost like communism if you've got like companies like G4S that are getting paid by the taxpayer and they're cleaning your stair, which John and Joe and his brothers could be doing as like a company for themselves, like generating jobs. Like these, like G4S, they hire dodgy people, and you see them at these prisons, and they hold immigrants and stuff like that. Yeah. And they've been under all sorts of trouble for like beating up people, and they're just one of these dodgy companies, man, and they're involved in so much, and it feels to me like communism, like because they're funded by the government and the taxpayer.
So do you remember what we were saying earlier about all these philosophies that we take a little piece of from? To me, that's what, whichever, again, what you want to label it as, the elites, they've done with all those other philosophies, right? Communism and fascism. They've taken all the little bits they like best and they've created this system that we now live under. They don't, but we do. And again, maybe somehow we have to unravel it, you know, maybe it's by doing something similar, taking little bits of ideas from all the fascism and communism and all that sort of stuff and retaliating somehow, you know.
You're right, because I look at it like communism, but at the same time, it's all about buy-in and it's so capitalist at the same time. And you're like, so how can it be capitalist? I'm communist. And like you said, they're just taking a bit of everything.
They stand together, but we all stand alone and they keep us separated, you know. Fascism's terrible, except for when we do it. We'll all stand together, whether we agree or not. But you lot can all disagree whether the earth's flat or round. Fuck you. To me, that's what it's all about. You know, as fascinating as I find it all, there is a more important thing going on, and as corny as it sounds, it is our freedom and liberty, man. Because I ain't got the freedom or the liberty to go and do what I bloody well want. I don't want to go and just build a house in the park because I can. But I want the choice to go and do my own thing, and I don't have that choice. I don't think anybody has that choice. They told me once that money would give me choices, but I don't think it does. I think it ties you down. Even more so, you know.
Yeah, right, man. You're right.
It's almost like it's flat Earth. Money's a drug. Want more of it, and once you get more of it, you want even more of it, and that's how it is. When you've got nothing, it don't matter. It don't matter to you.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Right, that was great speaking to you, Richard. Man, I'm going to get my dinner.
Yes, yeah.
It was a pleasure talking, and maybe sometime you can come on mine, and I'll come back on yours again. Or
I'd love to talk to you.
You can post this. You're free. Post, obviously it's your channel. Post this on your channel as a discussion.
We're going straight up as soon as we finish, mate. Straight up.
No problem, good stuff.
I really enjoyed speaking to you, Jed. It's really enjoyable.
It was nice speaking to you, Richard, and I find you a really nice guy, actually, and you're really intelligent as well, and it's rare to find within Flat Earth, I'm sorry to say.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's rare. I just think that they're not speaking up yet. All right? I think they're all still sitting in the background. Well, but for myself, that's what I want to do, is I want to encourage more people to speak up. For at the moment, it's all just the big mouths and the know-it-alls, and it's time for them to shut up and let someone else have a little say, yeah?
Good.
Just forever, I plan to encourage other people to do it so I can sit down and listen again, yeah?
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Good stuff. Right, anyway, mate, take care, and I'll see you later. Cheers, mate. And just before I do go, we'll catch up with chat. Rory, Night Angel, hello, how are you? Rory was so stoned he could hardly talk. Lovely. It's really nice to see you, Rory. Yorkshire Lass Tracy's back. And yes, Rory should be very proud of what he's achieved, Night Angel. I thank you for saying that. Rory, man, you are a top fella. I cannot tell you enough what you mean to me. I love you. Yeah, gonna make you blush some more. Now, did I miss anyone? I don't think there's anyone still sitting around. I hope you enjoyed my little chat. If anyone's joined late, at the very beginning, there's a couple of things I spoke about. Not coinkydink, but ideas within anime that are relevant to Flat Earth at the minute. Into that sort of conspiratorial area of concave and convex Earth. That's all part of it too. And some irrelevant stuff. Billy Sunday, hello, mate. Yeah, I'd love to go in that library. I'm sure a few people would as well. Who's going to come with me? Hi, Jamie. Yeah, population is definitely a lie. We don't know the truth of that. I think there's more of us in the cities than we realise, and less of us outside the cities than they're telling us. Now, just give me one moment. Oh, excuse me 1 minute. Hang on.
Let's take this off. Actually, I'll do it this way. Now, I don't know how good the light is. I'm not doing this today. I want to do this next time. So, on my last hangout, and I haven't got around to doing it, we had the circumference of the globe around north-south. I found this book on my shelf. It's from my mum last year. Oh, it's about Sir Ranulph Fiennes and his little exploration. Okay, there is more in this than I can explain now. It's got mentions of the New World Order and many other conspiracies I can tie into it. And you know what? It is inspire, but it's all rich people. It's very bizarre. The words in here are incredible. The people in here, it's creepy. It's creepy. All the things we've been talking about, and I will share that with you on my next hangout. I must go now. My dinner's probably cold and I have to put it in the microwave. But I'll thank everybody for coming. Paying attention to chat. I was getting a bit carried away with my chat there. Eternal Padawan, thanks for stopping by, fella. Really nice for you to be here. I'd love to come on and chat. A little walk the other day with your daughter, and I don't know if you noticed my little flower video. I sort of did that at a similar time, man. Weird little coincidence there, but there's some daffodil pictures, man. I'm really enjoying your channel. I was going through your list. I've got down to a video where it's about 35, 40 minutes long. I'll be listening to that one next. And Rory, I've got I filmed myself the other evening. I haven't looked back through it yet, and like I told you, I did that one under my usual conditions of, let's say I don't allow any spirits into my house. Let's just put it that way for now. Next time I'm going to do it, and I will invite things in. All right, I'll explain more about that when I do that one. Yeah, much love to you too. So for everyone for stopping by, for everyone's support, for my new subscribers, people that have commented, for people that are here today, thank you very much. It was very nice. I needed to talk about a few things. If you've missed it, go back and listen to some of the earlier stuff. I've really enjoyed myself again. I got a bit carried away. I didn't mean to stay on here quite so long. I always intend to do more, but we'll just have to see how things go. Much love to you all. I do hope you're all well, and I'll speak to you all soon. Okay, thank you for being here. Peace and love.